going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 288. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? Apparently something was announced today.
Ooh, Adam Vale.
What's up, everybody?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, what up?
All right, we got a very special guest, first timer for the Throwdown, my colleague from PC Mag, Mr. Will Greenwald.
What's up? Steady a joke.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Man. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. But, Will, since you're a first-timer, what we usually do is we have a little bit of an interview just to get to know you a little better. So, I hope you're ready, man.
All right.
Basically, first off, how did you become a gamer? What is your origin story? What was the first game you played, console, all that other stuff?
First one's probably Mario or Mario 3. Like, Mario 3 is the one I most remember, like, playing when I was really little. First one that, like, really got to me, though, was Link to the Past. So, like, I was Nintendo straight through the 90s, and then I just sort of went into it.
Nice. And then you got, like, 16-bit consoles and all that other stuff afterwards, right?
Yep. Never had a PlayStation until, like, way later, but I remember getting a PS2 and modding it to use, like, burn discs and, like, imported discs back in college, and using, like, that weird little, like, card that you have to jimmy the door open to get discs in.
Yo, we were just talking about that like 2 weeks ago. Remember that, Adam?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was awesome. And what were your favorite systems growing up, besides, you know, the Nintendo and all that?
SNES, definitely. Got a lot of appreciation for Dreamcast, even though the controller's terrible. Got a lot of appreciation for the GameCube, which I think sort of is just better than the Dreamcast, although the controller's even worse, and y'all can fight me. And I'm loving my Switch.
That's awesome. Yep. And of course, I got to ask, because this is something I'm curious about. How did you get into, you know, like tech journalism, games journalism?
I thought I was going to get into, like, computer programming, and then in high school, I had, like, a really influential journalism teacher, and I realized I liked writing a lot better than dealing with, like, math and programming, so I just majored in journalism and decided politics would drive me insane, so I just went with both of those interests.
Yeah, which is funny because you talk about politics a lot on Twitter, so that drives you nuts there.
It does drive me insane, but I'm not like... It drives me insane, but at least I'm not, like, working with it.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's cool. All right, man, so let's get into it. So today was the big reveal, the day we've been waiting for, the PlayStation 5 reveal. So we got to see a bunch of games, the console itself, not the price, which we predicted, and we got our thoughts. If you guys checked out our live stream, you heard our reactions on the spot, but now, you know, we've had some time to digest it, think about it, take it all in. So we're going to have fun. So let's see. The first thing we're going to talk about is the games. So I'm going to just run through these, you know, so this should be pretty interesting. We're going to go one by one, and let's see if I pulled up my little chat here. Oh, shit. Here we go.
Now, is this the list that you had before that was missing stuff, or is this
no?
The whole
this is
list?
The full one, because the one I listed before didn't have it was missing some games. So I got this list off of Variety. They got everything. So let's go by through these games one by one. Horizon Forbidden West. This was one that a lot of people wanted to see. We finally got to see it. It looked pretty cool. So, Will, why don't you start us off? What do you think of the game, the reveal?
Looks great. I still got to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I've been meaning to. I just, like, never touched it.
Yeah, I touched it 2 times, and just the Robo Dinosaurs just pulled me away from it. So,
well, this one's different, Adam. This one has robot turtles and robot elephants.
I saw the robot elephant. I was like, all right, that's cool, but I don't know. Maybe it's different. I'll give it a benefit now.
Well, it's crazy. When we're watching the trailer live, we're seeing all the wildlife, and I'm like, well, they still haven't showed Aloy, so I was thinking, what game is this? It looks kind of like Horizon, but could be another game, because I don't remember seeing that much wildlife in the first game. Do you guys remember that?
There was some, but not a lot.
The deer? Wasn't it the deer in the beginning that you're hunting with her? The tutorial?
Wasn't it a robot deer? Well, I don't know. But I just didn't think it was Horizon. Then I saw it and was like, oh, Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, however it's called.
Yeah, Forbidden West.
It looks cool. I'm just wondering, when is this game going to come out? We didn't get a time frame. That's the thing.
That's a question we're gonna have for a lot of these games, man.
the one time frame that really should matter for all of us is the one that they avoided, and that's the launch window.
Yeah,
So the fact that we didn't
we'll
get
get
a
to that.
date, it tells us it's not anytime soon.
Yeah, no.
I think they're still shooting for holiday.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
holiday?
That'd be
not
pretty
for
ambitious.
Horizon, but the console.
The console's definitely coming out in November.
Yeah, the console.
Yeah, that's for sure. You guys know me. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I got a platinum in that and everything. It was better than Breath of the Wild. I said it. As a matter of fact, that game ruined Breath of the Wild because I was playing Horizon like, oh my god, the fucking graphics are crazy. I go to Breath of the Wild, I'm like, ugh, this doesn't look as good. And I've said this before on the podcast. Horizon Zero Dawn was the first game of this generation that didn't disappoint me in some way. There's games I looked forward to, but they always disappointed in some way, big or small. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 was great up until like the last like half of it or whatever. It was like, Batman Arkham Knight, I had some problems with. There was always some with all the big games I anticipated. Not this one. It was awesome from beginning to end, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And the DLC was badass too. Frozen Wilds. I'm hyped for this shit. Oh, by the way, welcome to Mr. Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey, what's going on? What'd you think of Horizon, bruh?
Oh, I'm excited for that, man. I mean, I haven't played Frozen Wilds, so I don't know if any of that connects the stories. Like, because I don't remember at the end of the game her traveling anywhere. Just there was closure for the main story, but maybe there's something added in there. But I like it. I look forward to all that. So that was one of my top 3 from the reveal.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, pretty good. Again, we don't know the time frame, but we can say that for a lot of games. But one game we do know the time frame of is Spider-Man Miles Morales. This was a nice little surprise there. So I'm speculating right now, but it looks to me like this is going to be like kind of like First Light from Infamous or the
Lost Legacy.
The Lost Legacy from Uncharted. Like a standalone DLC type of game.
Well, it's probably not going to be a DLC at all. Because there's no mention of there being the original Spider-Man being on.
Well, that's why I said it's going to be like First Light. It's like you could buy it separately or what.
Well, no, I mean First Light means that, it's still, you could still download it, to be a part of the game. This is a standalone thing.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more like the Lost Legacy then.
Yeah, it's more
The
like
question is what the scope's going to be.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean,
I think it's going to be the same city.
I think the reason why we're seeing this so quickly is for number one is because they're not using a new city. They're not doing anything additional to it other than, and they've already proven that with even with the original Spider-Man game, they can have a really short deadline on this game and still put out a pretty decent product. The original Spider-Man didn't actually have a lot of it only had about 3 years or so for them to make it. And also Ratchet and Clank, the one that they released not that far from that one was like, they said that one was like a year or a year and a half. It was really short. So whatever process they have, they've been able to cut down the development times on their games.
Yeah. So do you think, so I'm going to ask Manny this question.
Uh-oh.
Do you think this is a $60 game?
I think it'll be a $60 game.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it will be a low price game.
Yeah.
If it's a launch window game, if it's like, because they're saying holiday season just like the console, that's going to be a $60 game.
So you think this is a full blown game?
I disagree because I think it's cross generational and it's a standalone DLC. It's not a full game.
Well, nowhere on every single thing that exists on the previous console, they specifically say it's for the PS4. There are other titles that were named during this thing, which also had a PS4 on there. Yeah. This does not have that.
Yeah, but it will be. Why wouldn't it work for PS4? They didn't make any brag about load times or anything like that.
I'm saying that I think that what this is going to be a PS5 exclusive, and this is going to be the thing that shows off there. Because why do you think they were showing off Spider-Man?
The same reason they showed off GTA 5.
No, I'm saying, but GTA 5 still said PS4 on it.
No, when Manny's talking about, you're talking about that tech demo, right?
I'm talking about the tech demo. Why do you think they were showing that thing off? This game is going to be that thing that shows that shit off.
Interesting. I'm with Chris.
I'm expecting they're going to have
Go ahead,
I think they're going to have like a second trailer for it, and it's going to go Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and just a 2 will pop in. It'll be Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was surprised. I'm like, okay, why is this Spider-Man 2? Because I thought, if you guys played Spider-Man, you kind of know what's going on. But I'm like, I thought it was going to be 2. But no, yeah, I'm with Chris on this one. I think this is a standalone DLC that's going to be $30, and it's going to be on both systems. That's what I think.
I don't think it is.
I guess.
I don't see them trying to, because they're going to milk it for the fact that it's on the new console, and they were like,
they're gonna buy it. They're gonna push you to get the new console for this one. I don't think
Sony went in hard with like saying a lot of these, or at least implying a lot of these are exclusive. Like, sure, RE8's not going to be like exclusive, but like the first party stuff, I don't think they're going to go in towards like Microsoft's whole every game for the next 2 years are also going to be for the Xbone. I think they're going to push PS5 exclusivity pretty hard, and Spider-Man would be a pretty solid first one to do.
No, by the way, I hope you guys are right. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really see that happening. But
I still disagree. I think they're gonna still, at least for this year, support PS4. It would be, I think, from a business sense, it doesn't make sense that you released a full Spider-Man game this generation, and then you're releasing a standalone DLC that won't be for this generation. That does not make sense.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing this as the wrong thing.
It's not a DLC. It's a standalone
game with Miles Morales in it. It is not a DLC.
It's its own game.
I think it's going to be a DLC, but I could be wrong.
DLC download. You're trying to DLC usually means that it's still linked to a game.
Still linked.
Yeah, okay, a digital version then, if you want to.
Of course, it's all digital.
They'll probably sell it in a box, but I think it's going to be like Lost Legacy. That's what I think.
No, I think it's.
We're going in circles now, anyway.
But I think they would not put themselves in that sort of situation and say, "Hey, look, we got this new Spider-Man game." And the only place, and you can also play it on your PlayStation 4. No, they're not going to do that shit. They're going to make you go over to the new console.
I guess we'll have to see then.
Honestly, I think I'm kind of in between both of your guys' arguments, mostly because they were pretty ambiguous as to what this is. They did mention that this was running on a PS5. That's as far as the extent was to, this is running on a PS5, but it doesn't say it's a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, they didn't say that.
They gave a title, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales, and we don't know if it's a standalone game, if it's part of the Spider-Man original Spider-Man game that came out in 2018. So I think we're gonna have to see more of this, hopefully pretty soon, because this game that's the big kicker. We already expected a new Spider-Man game, but I don't think anybody expected it at the end of this year.
Yeah. By the way, quickly, Reggie, just because they showed every game was running on PS5 doesn't mean it can't be on PS4 too. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, to be honest, I think again they've been pretty transparent as to what's going to be on the PlayStation 4. Anything that was going to be on PlayStation 4 at the end of the trailer would say PlayStation 4.
I'm smelling a bet here.
Yeah, we'll save that anyway. Oh, by the way, Brett, what's going on, man?
What's up, people?
I'm glad you're here because the next game we're going to talk about is Demon Souls Remastered, one of the worst kept secrets of the last couple months. By the way, I quickly need to say this. It was fucking hilarious. During the stream, Brett was screaming his brains out, going, "Oh my God, is this a Souls game? Is this a Souls game?" Meanwhile, the whole time Chris was going, "It's Demon Souls, it's Demon Souls, it's Demon Souls." Brett was like, "Shut up, Chris! Shut up!"
As soon as Chris saw the fucking thing, the bird holding that guy, he's like, "Oh, that's Demon Souls."
Yeah, Brett was like, "Shut up, Chris!"
No. I was saying, I believed Chris. I heard Chris. By the third scene, I was like, wait a minute, I know those Lantern guys. I fought those Lantern guys way too many times. This is a Souls game. And then Chris was like, yeah, it's Demon Souls. And I was like, oh shit, we're getting a new Souls game. and then I realized it's not from Software, and my excitement dimmed a little, but I am still excited.
It is still from Software. It's just from Software.
Blue Point is a good company. Right?
Yeah, it's a different kind of excitement. Like, technically, it's exactly what I want, because I was unable to play the original Demon Souls the way that it was supposed to be played, because I didn't have the internet at the time. It was a dark point in my life. And that game really relies on online to kind of progress and understand. So, I'm looking forward to going back to it, man. Going back to the beginning, playing the one Souls game I've never played. So, I'm excited for it. I don't know, man. It's Sony realizing that Bloodborne was a huge success, and they have this in there. Like, it's just, I see what you did there. I see what you did. Couldn't you gotten from software? Did they say no? What happened here?
I think they're all in on Elden Ring, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're working hard on that one.
exactly. Will, what do you think of Dark Demon Souls Remastered?
Super excited because I've never touched it, but I've played Dark Souls 1, 3, and Bloodborne. Bloodborne, fantastic. I love Dark Souls 3. And I'm going to be hated for this. Not a huge fan of the first Dark Souls. Like, the structure of it, like, I get the whole map design and layout is, like, really, like, things flowing back in on each other, kind of like Bloodborne. It's really impressive. But I just got confused navigating everything. There are too many areas that are just garbage to go through. But I'm really excited about Demon Souls because it's like, okay, it's kind of like a stage setup, and you have like this hub world where you can navigate a bit easier than deal with all of the crap of the first Dark Souls. So it's like, okay, maybe I'll be into this one too.
We'll see. Chris, that's the resident Demon Souls guy. What do you say, man?
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'll get back in there like I never left. You know, I'm wondering if they're going to give, if From provided them or if Bluepoint's going to have opportunity. There was a world they left out because of time. There's an archstone that's broken in the game, and they actually some guys dug in the code and they found it. They just didn't finish the area. I'm wondering if they'll actually finish that area. That would be awesome.
Well, I mean,
That'd be great.
For Shadow of the Colossus, they didn't add the hidden bosses, but they did add in weapons that were from like an early build of the game. There's like some special swords that you can sort of get, and a couple of other things that you can get in the game. And these things were things that were inside, like you could use a Game Shark on one of the demos to get those certain items that were never actually put in the game. So they did put these things in there. So there might be a chance that they may not. I don't know, who knows if they might finish that area off, but there might be some things that that From might have wanted to put in there but couldn't, and said, "Hey, here, do it." You know.
Are they going to keep it like identical, or do you think they'll go like remix it like Skull Over the First Sin type thing?
It's gonna.
I think it's gonna be like Shadow of the Colossus, to be honest.
Yeah, where essentially the original game is running underneath the veneer, underneath the driving the underside of what their engine is doing on top of it. So all those it'll control like you remember it. Everything will act like you remember it, except it has this really fancy new coat of paint on top of it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go like cool. I don't think they're gonna go the Final Fantasy VII route. Is Bluepoint, they usually just like they use the main base game and then just make it fancy, you know. So it should be cool. I'll give it another shot because I played Demon Souls, or tried to play it back in the day. I was like, I don't want to deal with this shit. I dealt with this kind of punishment back in the 8-bit days. I'm not dealing with this nonsense. But I see the beauty and the brutality now after playing Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. Good stuff. All right.
Do you feel like it was more? Do you feel like it was more bearable because you played it with somebody as opposed to when you did play it originally?
No, it was just I was more patient with it. Because I kind of knew what I was going into with Demon Souls the first time. I didn't know I thought it was just a hack and slash game, and it's like I kept getting killed over and over and over again. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit. You know, but with Bloodborne, even Bloodborne I almost didn't play, but Chris had an extra copy. I bought it off him pretty cheap, and I was like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. You know,
I think Bloodborne is probably the easiest of all of them to sort of
Bloodborne's
get
still
in.
my favorite because it's more action packed than you got to be very defensive in Dark Souls. So I don't really like that. I like just going in fucking shit up. All right,
I just want to see more Elden Ring. I want to know what it's going to be.
Yes, yeah. I thought this was Elden Ring for a minute, but then Chris said it was Demon Souls. But yeah, Elden Ring should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll get to see that before the year's out. You know, what do we get? Just a logo or something for that fucking game?
And maybe some CG that was really close.
Yeah,
like they show some details and a narrator on it.
Yeah. Yeah, then we'll find out George Martin's been working on that the entire time instead of his book.
Well, I'm sure he gave him some cliff notes because George R. Martin doesn't know how to get anything done.
Oh,
whoa!
Sorry.
I mean,
you're not wrong. Take it easy.
Come on,
with the lips.
Come on.
No, you're right. You're right.
How is it that the Game of Thrones the show ended before the fucking books? Come on, man. You had years to do that shit, to at least write those books. He ain't gonna
And
finish.
he's trying to live it up. He's trying to milk all this other money he's got coming in.
Anyway, let's get back to the games, man. The next
No,
up.
no,
Was
no.
that- oh,
He
no.
doesn't. He didn't have an ending, and he was waiting for HBO to write one for him.
Oh, damn.
There you go. I accept that answer. Thank you.
I like that. All right, next up, Returnal, which is from House, either House Marquee or House Mark. I don't know how you say it, but looks pretty cool.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no accent on the E, so.
Right. Well, Carlos, since you're talking, why don't you tell us your thoughts?
Which one was that one again?
It's the lady in space with a gun game type of.
And
thing.
she keeps repeating like the same thing over and over again.
Oh, is that the Edge of Tomorrow game?
Yeah, I guess like that's what we assume from the trailer.
Yeah.
How many time loop games are we getting? Like there's Deathloop, there was The Outer Wilds, like there's a lot of time looping now.
Shit, that's right. Yeah. Did this
And
one
I
have
thought
time looping too then? I guess so
Yeah,
because
she's-
Final Fantasy
Return.
Type Zero.
I was wondering that. I was like, how many repeat days are we gonna go? Is this gonna become a thing? Because it seems like being caught in a time loop is a thing.
For
There's
her,
also like
though,
other game than The Apartment that's coming out.
Yeah, that's right. I know
Yeah,
what you're
that's
talking
right,
about. The
yeah.
little indie game. Yeah.
For her
Year of
though,
Time
it seems
Loops.
like the
Yeah.
environment changes though. Like in other words,
Yeah.
like it may be like some like they showed one that looked like she's walking into a castle, then it looked like this freaking hell landscape with fire, like red earth and shit. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I mean, I there's just like shooting. The environments look crazy. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like they had the Thanos scene from Avengers: Infinity War where he's walking down the fields and has his hand like stretched out. But yeah,
Well, I call it the gladiator scene, man.
Yeah,
that's you're right. But yeah,
Kind of also reminded me of Annihilation.
Oh yeah. Prey's another one that kind of is a time
That's
loop.
right. Yeah, this game takes a lot of influences. It looks like it should be interesting, but yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it. It's like there's a lot of these time loop games. What is going on?
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, I know you like time loops in games.
Well, in games, it addresses a critical thing of like, how do you keep dying and respawning?
Yeah.
Like, I think developers need to take that idea into account. Like, I'd love to see a game where basically you're a clone, and every time you die, you've basically prestiged yourself, but you come out a little bit more fucked up each time because you're.
Let me tell you about Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
Well, something like,
Let me
I
tell
wanna
you a
bring some of
little bit about a game called Death Stranding.
I
Dead
like.
Cells.
Yeah, no, it's
Dead
a lot
Cells,
of
yeah.
roguelike games like are kind of starting to take this, but like there's this disjoint because you, the player, just constantly respawn. Like I didn't even think about it honestly until they played Dark Souls, and they're like, yeah, time and space are kind of irrelevant, and you keep being pulled back from the dead, but keep getting more hollow. And I'm like, that's interesting. It's the game is recognizing that I died, not just being like, hey, pretend that didn't happen. So I like that, and it really allows for some interesting scenarios. They're equally interesting. One, you have this kind of like you're breaching through time and possibly space in kind of a high sci-fi weird horror setting, which is a fantastic approach for that. The other one is like a grindhouse manhunt game, and so the whole time loop is just you are being murdered over and over and over every day. How do you escape that? Like they're both time loop games, but they both are kind of looking at the idea of like how the player interacts with the game and going wildly different directions. So they do have that time kind of weird element to it, but other than that, man, like I think they're just utilizing it to bring in interesting gameplay that maintains a narrative even when you die.
Yeah. So in that sense, we count Demon Souls as one of these time loop games too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
and then Demon Souls kind of set the standard because as you die, the world changes. It gets darker or lighter, and I forget the exact word for this. Chris will be able to tell you all about it. But yeah, like the world
tendency.
gets worse. World tendency. There we go. The world gets worse. The game punishes you for dying. It gets harder, which is a weird mechanic, but it's. I mean, Demon Souls is the real get good game.
He's like, it just all breaks down to Demon Souls is the better game.
You know, it's
No,
the, you know,
Demon-
he said it's
Demon
the
Souls
get
was no.
Yeah.
Demon Souls is like Demon Souls is in like a 1950s dad. Demon Souls is like a trailer park abusive dad. Like it's just,
So 1950s dead.
Yeah.
it's just mean. But no, I'm excited about it. But yeah, man, I like the idea of time loop. We've had these rewind games before, so the idea of adjusting and fucking with time isn't really a new concept. But how they do it and how they're introducing it in both of these games is actually kind of a new concept. Like I've played Manhunt, and this kind of feels like a Manhunt Bulletstorm hybrid shooter with kind of like I don't know, man. Like the story seems badass. The protagonist sounds boss. Like I love the attitude of like I keep getting killed every day. I'm gonna fuck these dudes up one day. Like it's great. I love it. It's fun. It's over the top. The other one, man. Like I do think like Eternal Darkness is the last one I could really think of that they really fucked with the idea of like time, space, sanity, that kind of stuff. Those are great questions to ask. Senua kind of breached that a little bit, but we've been stuck so long in. I am a perfectly mentally stable killing machine / one-man army decimating a group of clearly bad guys. Like, I feel like we're kind of starting to pull away from that, and that's good, because not everything needs to be a 1980s action movie. That's kind of where we've been.
Yeah. All right.
But, you know, the world's getting bigger, and you can move around it.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about the SSD, guys. Don't worry about it. All right, even though they didn't talk about it. Next up, we got Gran Turismo 7. So it's Gran Turismo 7. I don't know.
I thought that came out like 3 years ago.
Shoot, when I saw that, I'm like, Tony must be ecstatic. He's like, yeah.
Because I'm a big Gran Turismo fan, right?
Yeah, I
calmed him down. Actually, it was you can go back to the podcast. He lost his shit.
Yeah,
right?
You can hear my reaction, during the live stream. But yeah, it's another Gran Turismo. What do you expect? I don't. By the way, this game ain't gonna be coming out anytime soon. The way Yamauchi does these fucking games, bro, it ain't coming out anytime soon. But it looks nice. But that's part of the course. Right? Yeah, right. Exactly. It'll be coming out for PlayStation 9 or something. You know.
When's Drive Club 2?
Yes. Oh man,
I miss that. I love Drive Club.
Really?
Yeah, I put in so many hours.
We got to get Hip Hop Gamer in here. He loves that game too.
Oh, it was so good.
That game was fucking boring, man. Yeah, like what is this
So,
shit?
it depends on what you don't like.
I think it was like when you played, it wasn't even fully like together. I mean,
No, I played at the beginning. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, when I played it was after when they started doing the lighting effects and the rain and the storms, and you're driving and the windshield wipers are going crazy, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that shit was in when I.
it was actually quite a decent arcadey sort of driving game.
It was fun. It was fun.
I don't know. Whatever. I felt they didn't know if it wanted to be an arcade or a sim game. I didn't like it.
No, it was totally an arcadey game.
Not like Burnout, you know.
No,
not like Burnout, but like
It's coming to Switch.
It wasn't full Forza or Gran Turismo.
I mean, like it's like it's like that's the other version of Forza almost.
Hoping to sit around and play video games all day.
Brett, you're cutting out. You're like, actually, no, you're not cutting out. You're scrambling like. Blah. You have storm.
I
Anyway,
think he was moving like from room to room.
I wish Brian was here because he's actually excited about this. But it's a Gran Turismo game. Whatever, Give me Burnout, EA. Goddammit.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're not big fans of sim racing games, so.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to something we actually do care about. Resident Evil 8. So
do we care about Resident Evil 8?
I do.
Oh, what are you talking about? You crazy, man. You crazy.
Man, you're just trolling.
I haven't played a Resident Evil game since 3. I mean, since Code Veronica. That's the last one.
Wow.
4 was good. It wasn't. I'll be honest. My opinion.
No, don't shit on 4. Don't shit on 4, man.
I said I didn't bother. I didn't shit on it. Just said I didn't bother.
No. I was about to say it's not really it's a huge departure from the previous Resident Evil game.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So was this one.
Yeah.
So was 7.
So was 7.
That's important. We got to bring up 4 because this one looks like a return to 4, not just in setting but in style. Like things have gone like Resident Evil goes through these stages of like grounded, creepy realism, and then it slowly warps out into like overblown, exaggerated, eye-rolling. Okay, come on! Like you just had a giant flesh worm burst. That's not even the. You don't
Which one are
have
you
enough
talking
flesh to make that giant flesh worm. This doesn't even make sense.
Which one are you talking about?
What was
Talking about 7?
Yeah, wasn't 7 the one that was?
You think I mean, is,
They're all
is
mildew,
7
though.
really is 7 really true to form? Like other than the scaring tactics that he uses, it's kind of
Well,
like
I would say it was return to form. It went back to like the first one where you're like in an enclosed space and
Yeah,
you need to
6.
navigate through like a house or something, not like the spectacles that like 5 and 6 became, especially 6,
Yeah.
where you're like
Yeah.
globe trotting and you're surviving like airline crashes like Con Air and
6 was just stupid.
Hard Target put together.
Okay, 6 is the one I was thinking of. Yes, because 7 was it didn't. It also didn't seem like a Resident. I don't know what to call Resident Evil, because it used to be Resident Evil zombie game, like back in the day, like zombies, raccoons, stars, Chris Redfield, fucking Resident Evil. Now they're like, what is Resident Evil? Like, I don't know. Like sometimes it's zombies, sometimes it's like cannibal hillbillies, sometimes it's an action game, sometimes it's kind of like a slow stealth horror game. Like it's just all over the goddamn place.
It's
It
whatever.
just looks like Bloodborne.
It kind of did, yeah. By the way, Brett, I like the fact that you brought up 4, because this is kind of okay. Here's the thing. Okay, so Resident Evil 4 changed up the whole dynamic of the series, right? Resident Evil 7 changed up the whole dynamic of the series. So this one is like blending the two games that changed up the series the most into one, because you're right. It's like it has the first person perspective of 7, but it also has the medieval type of stuff from 4.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Well,
yeah.
it's kind of like the original version of 4. Like Chris said, the original version of 4 was supposed to not even be like bio shit. It was supposed to be ghosts and all
It
kinds
was
of
Haunted
crazy-
Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game.
Oh, by the
That
way,
became
yeah,
Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly. Yep.
Chris.
What?
You're Mr. Resident Evil. You've multi-plat to the point Sony just gives you platinum on top of a platinum. What do you think? I care about what you think. What do you?
Oh, screw you.
I'll take
thanks,
that.
Adam.
I accept
Carlos,
the
we're just gonna go fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, Adam, it's funny you said that, because I was literally about to ask him, because Chris, you said that a lot of the leaks. By the way, who just called the cops, man?
It's my neighbor really hates me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The lights
I'm
are
gonna
off.
get arrested.
Anyway, Chris, you looked at the leaks and you said a lot of the stuff that was in the leaks is in this trailer.
Yo, it was accurate. The leaks. It was somebody on Reddit said like there was going to be this old man guiding Ethan through this like Romanian village. He mentioned werewolves. He mentioned a witch that when Ethan attacks her, turns into like insects and like disappears. And he mentioned this weird symbolism, and it was all there. The leak was 100% right. I'm glad Capcom didn't address them. They just went forward and they showed this. So I watched this trailer. Like Kristen made me watch this trailer twice, and she started going frame by frame looking for
Wow.
Easter eggs, right? And then I watched the special developer thing with the Pete guy and the Japanese director. They did a supplemental video, and they there's a lot of nods to RE4. So there's some kind of currency in this game, and it looks Romanian. The money
Yeah.
that's present. The village harkens back to RE4 with the villagers, and you see them farming, and you see these like they stick up these poles everywhere with totems on them. So there's a lot of things harkening back. Your inventory looks like a mixture of the attaché case and the current item uh, item management from Resident Evil 2 and 3. It's like them mashed together, because it's that, but the attaché case shape, the rectangle. So that's kind of interesting.
Chris.
Yeah.
More importantly, what the hell happened to Chris Redfield?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Okay, so this game is
He
supposed
got
to
old. He
take.
put on some weight.
No, it
No,
looked like he was doing magic or some shit.
No, it takes place 7 years after RE7, so it's 7 years later. That's why he kind of looks different. But it also there was another part of the story that it involves Ethan and Mia's baby, and something happens to her, and it involves Chris Redfield interfering in his life and dragging him to this country to find out what some secret about Umbrella or something. So in the trailer, you see Chris Redfield. Basically, he shows up in Ethan's house to save him from those ninja guys. I don't know who they were. He kills them, and he's wearing his pea coat and stuff. If you remember in RE6, he was kind of dressed like that in some of the scenes. He's wearing his pea coat, getting drunk. So I guess he's back to that, and he's
back
looking
to
more
beefy
buff.
Chris again.
He's back to beefy Chris, and he looks like he shoots Mia on the ground because he goes, "Sorry, Ethan," and he shoots. If you look at the floor very carefully, he looks like he shoots Mia on the ground, and then Ethan goes, "Why did you do that?" You know. So, and that's how it ends. And also, you remember the beginning of the trailer says this is the end of his story. I don't think they're talking about Ethan. They're talking about Chris Redfield. It's the end of his story,
Well,
right?
Chris,
Yeah.
what? Also, can you assume it's Mia?
No, I'm just guessing, right? Because it's Ethan talking to him. It's supposed to be you talking to Chris Redfield. So I don't. Who else would he have shot on there that would make Ethan cry? He's not gonna cry over a bunch of ninjas. And again, we went through the frame by frame the shots, and it kind of looks like her. And you remember in RE7 when she got possessed by the molded and she looked all crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like that on the ground. Go back to the trailer and pause the scene where Redfield's executing her on the ground. You'll see it's a woman that looks almost like that. So it's just speculation. I'm just assuming it's her. I don't know it's her.
Yo, you guys
So
did a
canon-
Digital Foundry fucking analysis on this shit.
Put on that British accent.
That's
know?
that's Kristen's jam. She loves herself some Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But Chris,
Yeah.
so we can assume that the canon is that you save her, right?
Oh yeah, the ending of 7, yeah, that you save her. Yep. That's pretty much going to be the canon ending.
Gotcha.
Well, it'd be kind of funny. Well, then again, it wouldn't be able to do this. But based on the ending that you get a slightly different version. You get that quick lady from before, the other lady in there.
Well, it's funny she don't make it out of the game if you choose her.
Spoiler.
Yeah, all right. Well, I platinumed the game twice, so I can talk about it. Yeah, if you don't, she doesn't make it out with. He just leaves by himself. If you do that,
okay.
if you go that
So,
route.
Chris, another
Yeah.
question. It's a dumbass question, but I'm gonna have to ask it.
Chris.
So Resident Evil 7 is called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, right?
Yeah.
So in Japanese, is it called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil?
Yes.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
it is
guess.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah, it
It
is.
is.
yeah, it is.
Okay,
They reversed the names in both countries.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that works. But yeah, Resident Evil 8. Down again. There's another one without a release date, but we shall see. Anyway, I want to move on to the next game. This is one we've seen before. Ghostwire.
Oh wait,
Tokyo.
one thing
What's
about
up?
this on that additional content, and obviously this is going to be on PlayStation 5 and Xbox
Series X.
Series X. Here's the thing that they said in there. They said the game will have no loading times, and they did not specify which would have no loading times. Just saying. Just going to put that out there.
All right. Yeah,
Right.
make it that. Yeah, make it that what you.
They didn't
will,
say
then.
it was a PlayStation exclusive. They didn't say it was an
Right.
Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, he did say no load times. I didn't. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
All right, I guess we'll see. Anyway, Ghostwire Tokyo, Shinji Mikami, showed it off. This is a weird game because, like, at the beginning, it looked like some crazy Japanese horror game, and then it turned to some crazy Japanese action game. So, Will, what'd you think of it? Will can start off first.
I
What'd you
got
think
some-
of it?
I got some big Control vibes from it. Like it looked like there's spooky stuff, but you have enough like agency and can do enough fighting that it's not really a horror game. So it's like, okay, I'm punching weird ghosts and Slender Man and headless girls, and it's like, okay, is this just Control Japan? In which case, I'm totally down with that.
No, bro, it's Japanese Ghostbusters.
Could be that too.
Yeah, I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
I got
Right?
the Ghostbuster vibe.
I mean,
No,
Ghostbusters toes
it's,
the line of being creepy and kind of action packed and even kind of funny at times. Like I think it's that kind of thing.
It's Yu Yu Hakusho, the game, man. What are you talking about?
Kind of. I mean, we've had enough like we've seen enough Americanized shows that like you're like, oh, this is a person like they go and they hunt demons and like all the supernatural stuff that we hear about, like werewolves and vampires are actually real and they're going through executing them. This is just a Japanese version of that. Like all the things you're seeing are like Shinto, like ghosts and legends and folk
But
tales.
Are they like one was just dead ass like Slender Man holding an umbrella?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that comes from I think I know the story of that.
Oh.
It's like and because they've done fucking online adaptations like a webcomic. Like it fucking scared the shit out of me. They did one of a web adaptation on a webcomic, and you got to a certain point, and the web page then boom scrolled on you, and so like it turned into an animation of like this like fucking lady. Like, all of a sudden you get to the point like lady's like head like whips around, like twists and snaps, and like her jaw detaches and her face opens up. And you're like, Jesus fucking! It scared the crap out of you. Like, but yeah, like there's the ideas that there's and I don't want to sound like an expert because I'm not, and somebody will correct me. But like in Shintoism, there's like a spirit world that exists alongside our world. And there are benevolent spirits, there are malevolent spirits, they're kind of in-between spirits. And like certain spirits, like if you like build on a place that you're not supposed to build, can go from being like neutral spirits and be fucking turned into demons. And like that's like a big kind of central thing. It's done in a lot of anime. I'm surprised the concept hasn't come to video games yet. But the way they did it was they said it in kind of a real world.
Yeah, Fatal Frame is one of those examples. There's quite a bit of games like even Okami.
Fatal Frame's a great one.
If you get right down to it, Pokemon's Shinto, because you're basically just dealing with anything that is a force or a concept can sort of be embodied as a creature, and it can be a kami or I'm blanking out on the term. A yokai.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything can be a yokai, and it's like
exactly.
Yeah, or
basically Pokemon
Watch.
or Shin Megami Tensei,
or Yokai Watch, the other kid game.
That's an underrated series. I kind of enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm genuinely excited for the lore in this game, and the action. I'll be honest, you've got me, and I'm totally biased here. Everybody here knows if you can throw a fireball, I'm fucking in. And that's where this game is like, hey, you want to throw fireballs and ghosts? And I'm just like, yes. But I mean, I'm really fascinated by the lore, and I'm really looking like I hope they do a bunch of lore dive into it. I hope they explain it. I'm really looking forward to the setting.
Like seeing things like these ghost torii, the sort of archways, that are again another Shinto thing. And when I went to Japan a few years ago, like there's this place, the Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is just this mountain that is covered in like hundreds of these big red arches that are like that same design. The idea is it's a gateway to the spirit world or to heaven, and to see sort of a weird ghost virtual version of this just like sitting in the middle of Tokyo like a hologram. It's like, okay, is this like an entrance to a dungeon? Is this like a space you need to like cleanse? And what's it going to be like? Is this going to be the new like a Shinto version of a Ubisoft tower?
What if this is just a Japanese version of The Witcher?
That'd be pretty rad.
I mean, if you think about the structure of The Witcher, it's about, finding and hunting these kind of lore creatures.
I don't know. I mean, this one seems a little bit more.
It's definitely actiony.
It's more faster paced and actiony than something like The Witcher.
Yeah, but I mean,
way more of a cyberpunk
concept.
vibe.
Yeah, I think it's in concept. Like they'll title like, "There's this spirit bothering this area. Go exterminate it." Maybe. I don't know if it's level based. I don't know if it's open world. They didn't really show us a lot.
No. But this game's definitely a lot more.
To be honest, when I saw like finally got to see the game, I was like a little bit disappointed. I'm like, oh, it's another one of these now. They're just blowing up everything. I was hoping for something a little more slow, a little more strange, and it just seems like, hey, it's just arcadey, blow the hell out of everything.
Oh, like Godfall?
Yeah, that's. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, Manny, I'm with you on that one. I thought, I was a little disappointed. I mean, we don't know what the actual game is, but when it got to the actual core gameplay, I'm like, oh, it's just some crazy Japanese shooting game. All right, whatever.
And then let's talk about the elephant in the room, about somebody who was connected with this game who just so happened to be missing.
Well, she's not there anymore,
She's not there anymore. So now, okay, what happened that she left this project? She was directing that shit.
Was she directing it?
No, yeah. She wasn't the director. She was like one of the art people.
We're talking about Izumi Nakamura, by the way.
This game, she was actually directing.
No, she was. I thought she was like the head director. She was probably the director of art.
Let's not get into it, but we don't know if she was or not. But no, I mean, she left a while ago, so that's kind of inconsequential now.
No, but I'm saying like I feel like this game might have taken a different turn because Shinji probably had to take the whole thing over.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Who knows?
That makes sense. Hey, Manny, if you haven't played Vampire the Masquerade, you should be excited for the second one.
I mean, I'm not. I don't really. I never cared for the vampire games much.
Oh, dude,
I'm excited.
Man, Vampire the Masquerade is the only one because it's 3/4 RPG. It's actually got.
I'm mildly interested in the Werewolf the Apocalypse game that's coming, but I'm also wary of that game because they have not shown any gameplay. They just show you fancy CG trailers. Same company, by the way, White Wolf, that made Vampire.
Well, Bloodlines I'm excited about because the first Bloodlines was basically just Deus Ex, the very first one, not Human Revolution or anything, but just the first Deus Ex, but with vampires instead of Illuminati stuff, and it was awesome because of it. Because you had the same sort of concept. You had RPG elements, you had a lot of like some dialogue things, and a lot of just. It gets really interesting, and if they keep to the RPG feel of it and not just turn it into a third-person adventure game, like I'm really excited about Bloodlines too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, quickly, GZDR, just because Manny likes Castlevania doesn't mean he's going to be interested in Masquerade. I like Castlevania. I don't give a shit about Masquerade.
What? I don't understand the connection there.
I don't get it either. Anyway,
we're talking about an RPG and a side-scrolling action game.
The two different things, bro. Anyway, let's move on.
It's like you like Dracula.
Oh, by the way, Reggie.
What happened, Reggie? What now?
Reggie wants to bet me on the Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, hold on, Reggie. How much?
Reggie, I'll bet you $1,000, man.
Oh shit.
Reggie, what's your bet, bro? All right, we'll get to that. Anyway, I want to move on to the thing that actually weirdly started off the show, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Let's introduce you to the next generation of games by showing you a 7-year-old Grand Theft Auto game.
So weird.
Isn't it older than Skyrim?
Skyrim in 2010. GTA is
2013. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Still old as hell.
Somebody asked me on Twitter, "I was like, hey, has there been a game that's been on 3 different generations before?" I said, "I don't know." Skyrim's one of them. Skyrim.
Well,
no. Because Skyrim is. That's a whole other thing. Will we see Skyrim on PS5?
Only if you can't Switch as the next gen, and Nintendo just doesn't count anymore.
Yeah, right.
Well, there is a game that has been on 3 generations.
Besides
Resident Evil 4.
Yes. Oh yeah, it has. It's been on everything.
That's right.
It's been on everything.
That's right.
It's been on the phone.
That is true.
I don't understand why. I mean, I do understand why they showed this. I just on a PS5 conference to open your conference.
I don't understand why, because it's not available at launch. They said when they sent out the email following up, Rockstar sent an email talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, it's coming to next gen consoles in mid 2021. So it's like, all right. So then when we
weird.
Get this, so you get this, you're not gonna be able to play it. So why show it off now as if it's gonna be available at launch?
No, it's not.
They were padding the show.
At the very beginning.
Yeah, dude, they did not have. My tinfoil hat theory. We saw a lot of highlighted indie games, and they did look good. I'm not talking any shit on them, but to give that much stage time to that many indie games to the point where a lot of the audience was dropping off, not just us, but the Twitch viewers were dropping off. It tells me that they didn't have enough killer content to fill a whole show.
I'm not gonna disagree with that because
I don't disagree with
that.
that.
I don't disagree. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna. What happened, Carlos?
I mean, they showed GTA 5, so that proves it well that that's the case.
By the way, consider this. During the middle of the show, during our live stream, like half the people that were watching us were gone. As soon as the show ended, when it was just us talking about it, the numbers shot back up again.
Can I also say there was just an unusual amount of like transitional things in there too that we had to wade through? Like, watching the fucking balls.
The shapes.
I hated those transitions so much.
It's like you could tell that they're fucking padding for fucking time.
Every time one of those transitions happen, there's like a square going in and out of a bigger square. I keep thinking, okay, this time is going to be a box lifting off and us showing what the damn thing looks like.
Yeah.
And they showed what the thing looks like, and we're going to get to that. But...
Yes, exactly. It's crazy. Anyway, let's move on here. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm actually excited about this. Yeah, I love the series a lot, so I'm glad this is coming. I'm also glad that Insomniac has not abandoned this franchise, so that's good. I like the whole rifting mechanic too. What happened?
Can I say something controversial? Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This was the best showing of their whole show.
Really interesting.
They showed gameplay. They showed gameplay. No, they showed a lot of it too.
Yeah.
What other game like Resident Evil 8 we're hyped for? Horizon 2 we're hyped for, but they didn't really show gameplay for those.
No, they just showed you
This
some
game got a
CG
lot, yeah.
or whatever.
I'm down. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank, give me that shit. I'm ready.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
man.
this about the Ratchet and Clank thing. It didn't look any better than the one that was on the PS4. The only thing that said to me that it was something that was more of a next gen thing was just the amount of stuff that you saw on the screen. Like there were more things active. Like
Yo, man, but there was ray tracing
Okay,
on
problem
Clank,
with all of
son.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Manny is not only correct, but I want to point out, I want to add to that. It said at the beginning of the fucking show they were going to show us things only possible on PlayStation, and that this was the first time in I don't know how long that there was a notable and remarkable difference between generations. Like you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody see anything that was clearly next gen?
No,
They all look like PS4S games.
it was all PS4S game.
One game that actually kind of did look like that was the Project Athia one.
Well,
We
actually,
got
yeah.
so little of
Yeah,
that.
was
By
that
the way-
gameplay?
Yeah. By the way, the perfect segue. Let's talk about that now. I don't know if that was gameplay. I don't know how much gameplay, but that did look. It is running on the Luminous engine. By the way, I'm glad Square Enix not abandoned that engine. I thought they were done with it. You know.
Everybody's
Like, it
excited.
looks really
Nobody
cool,
knows what
but-
it is.
Yo, what happened?
It
Will?
looked nice
Will,
for
Will,
the couple seconds.
Will, what happened?
I said
no,
everybody's
it looks really
excited.
cool,
Okay.
but,
Nobody knows what it is.
No, we don't know.
I got like a Vagrant Story vibe from it.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, kind of, is that me?
I just with the name they called it Project Who's and What's It. I'm just like, oh no, here we go.
Athia.
We got another deep down for this generation. Great, thank you.
Oh shit! No,
Yeah,
I
that was
don't.
my
I don't
thing.
think it's like that, man.
I
think
don't
so.
know,
They
man.
haven't named it yet. They
It's
don't
not
even have a
even
name
named.
for the game yet.
Remember-
Manny, what's your theory? You think this is the one made by the ex-Capcom guys, right?
Okay, so if people have been paying attention, essentially, Square Enix has hired literally most of the team that made the last Devil May Cry game. It's the director of the last Devil May Cry game. It's a bunch of people from Capcom. It's all shitload of people. Now the thing is, the rumor was that they might be working on the new Final Fantasy game, essentially going full on total action game. But just with that, or my theory is that maybe this is the game that they're working, because everybody's wondering, like, okay, could these guys? Why would you hire all these guys from Capcom, and why would you, what would you have them working on? A new title, or or the Final Fantasy franchise? So there's a good chance that this game could be that.
Yeah, we'll
Either
see.
way, can we have a moratorium of using the word project in any game you're developing?
Please, we're
Project.
done with that. shit.
Project whatever, unless you have a title for it, just don't even show it to us, because this is Project Dreamwaker, and it's like, okay, what's it going to be? Big Billy's Giant Egg. Yo, they should do a Billy Hatcher sequel.
Didn't
right.
Luminous Engine also have a project in front of it too? When
It
they
did.
showed their
I think
first
it did.
demo.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
did.
was called Project Luminous.
But what about Project Spark? That was the actual
What
name
about
of the
Project
game.
Spark?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's Project Cars. Remember that?
Project Cars,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's retire that shit. We're done with that. Projects,
We're doing
Project
Project Gotham
One.
Racing. That can get grandfathered
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Is there
yeah.
a good example of project we can figure? Like we just pulled out like
Yeah.
9 out of.
No, I go with Project Gotham. Sure. That one
Project
works.
Gotham.
But that's only because it has Gotham in there.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Gotham,
You know,
I thought
forget
Yeah. Go ahead. Will?
forget about GT7. I want to see a remaster of Need for Speed Underground 2.
That'd be yes, that'd be amazing. By the way, Subgata says that the GT7 had ray tracing, but he's right. We don't care. Underground 2 was fucking awesome. All right, let's move on. The next game we're going to talk about is an indie game called Stray, where basically you play as a cat, which is the only living creature in a world filled with robots.
It looked nice. Again,
Yeah.
nothing we haven't seen. It had some nice colors to it, and you can see some of the cool reflections and things. But I wasn't blown away by it, but it looked like a nice game.
It looked cool, but it struck me as okay, the cat's the main character, but everything with the robots in this world that has no more humans is way more interesting than just a cat running around.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this game's trying to go for. It's like some cyberpunk type of thing. I don't know.
It's supposed to be like a Tokyo Jungle type thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I
no,
think
Tokyo
you're
Jungle
gonna-
is
you're
a
gonna-
nutty game, though. I don't think
Yeah,
it's like that.
You're gonna learn about the interesting world through the cat.
Through the cat's
Like,
eye.
Through the
I
cat's
kind of
eyes.
get it. Let's be honest. It looks like a well-funded indie game. It's an interesting idea, treading into new areas. It is not really sizzle reel worthy.
Yeah, this wasn't
well,
even
I mean,
sizzle.
actually,
This
it
was
is.
actually
Actually, you have
presented-
that flipped around. It actually is sizzle reel worthy.
It is sizzle reel worthy because this guy like
it didn't
like,
need a
like-
feature.
yeah.
It didn't exactly need a full-on feature, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a better way to put it.
All right, nobody cares
Yeah.
about the cat.
I mean,
No,
I thought it was.
it seems like an interesting game. I'm not going to pay $60 for it though.
I doubt it's going to be $60.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be 60.
I doubt it's that much. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
quit
Miles Morales
highlighting-
game has a better chance.
highlighting digital only $30 games. They're fun. They're cool. You should have a backlog of them to help. But that should all go into one sizzle reel. That's it. That's exactly right. It should all just go into one sizzle reel.
It didn't need that long of a feature, to be honest.
Well, that
Yeah.
goes
Like,
back to what we were
it-
saying. They're padding shit out. You know.
Yeah,
And all
like
of those
they
games-
gave. Oh, go ahead.
All of those games did not deserve to have the shapes in between each of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Shape.
Oh man.
Or make the shape shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
No, they needed to make the shape. They needed to. It was a fine line of shapes and indie games to make the thing padded out to 2 hours.
That was 1 hour, but it felt like 2, didn't it? All right.
No,
It was
An hour and a half,
over.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was over.
Like
an
one and a
hour.
half
Is it-
almost.
Yeah, something like
Is
that. All right. Speaking about another game I don't care about, Destruction All Stars.
That
It's,
looked fun.
yeah, I don't
That
know.
looked
It's like they're trying.
Oh
to
wait,
blend-
Fortnite and
like
Rocket
Fortnite
League.
and Rocket
Yeah,
League thing.
but
Whatever.
That's
Piece of
a perfect
shit.
game. But
We'll call it Rocket Knight.
Rocket.
Oh wait, no, that was already a game.
Rocket.
Oh.
You know, I don't know.
I'll tell you, I want another game where I play some character with a DreamWorks ass face.
Yes.
that's it.
And yeah, and they get and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna sell you 1,000 skins. Make your characters look like a bunch of different stuff, and you can get customizable cars. And then we're probably gonna get some what do they call it? Some licensed cars in there. You put the Batmobile.
Yeah, get
and
the
then,
Knight Rider in there. You know.
Get the Knight Rider, or
Yeah.
it's essentially gonna be like what's that movie? The one that takes place in the video game. What the fuck is that game?
Well, Ready Player One.
Yeah, it'll be Ready Player One. That's what it's gonna be.
Damn. Even the guys in the chat are telling us to move on.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
By the way, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I'm
What's
sorry.
the
we
point
don't-
of the people in it?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
If you got
guys.
these
we don't-
cars with like fucking knives, why do you need people in it?
Yeah,
if
that's a
you
good
got
point.
these cool cars.
Yeah.
Who wants to be on foot in a game like that?
Very
I'm
dangerous.
I want to apologize for the fans because we don't have enough shapes to go in between our transitions.
Yeah, we should add them in next time. You know?
Is there an audio version of the change to it? Go like,
There you go. Thank you,
wow.
Will. Oh man. All right, let's
Can I-
move on.
can I
To,
just
go ahead.
real quick?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Nothing related to this, so don't worry. Remember, like a couple of weeks ago, there was a leak of the official PlayStation Magazine UK,
Yeah.
where it had a list of like 38 games.
Yeah, the hottest game ever, Soulsborne,
Did it?
man.
Did any of these games show in this conference?
No, not that I
No.
know of. No.
They're pretty interesting.
Yeah, where was Rainbow Six
Souls-
Quarantine, man?
Where was Quantum Error in Soulsborne?
Are you making those up?
No, we
No,
thought they were made
No,
up.
no, that's a real game.
There is a game called Soulborne. There we
Yeah,
go.
Soulborne. It's like what the fuck? Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, next up, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. So this is Little Big Planet's mascot in his own adventure. Yay! I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the-
say,
That is the stupidest thing.
yeah.
This is our
Well,
knack.
I mean-
This is our knack.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty much. It's developed by the guys who did the previous Little Big Planets. Was it
Sumo.
Three?
three and there was the other ones they did. So I mean, they know Sackboy. So all right.
Yeah, but if it isn't like if you can't make your own stuff, what's the point of a Little Big Planet game?
Well, it's
Yeah.
not. That's why it's not called Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
So what's the Sackboy sucks? Like you're just playing a Funko Pop if you're not making your own level.
yes, essentially you're playing a Funko Pop. You can dress up in a bunch of different costumes. Yay! Fun
Honestly,
time is
I was
here.
excited during the trailer because the idea of like, and those levels look like cool, but like they cool in a building blocks way that would make total sense for like a Little Big Planet 3D, like a game that was Little Big Planet, but you had like a 3D sort of workable area. That'd be
Don't-
awesome. But just Sackboy Adventure, who cares about Sackboy?
To me, you know what this looked like? It looked like an alternate skin for the Playroom adventure.
Yeah.
It's like literally the Playroom game and this game are almost exactly alike.
You know, all I could think as I was watching it was, I could make all of this in dreams.
You can make it all in
Yeah.
dreams.
You can make dreams
I
happen.
mean, fuck, you could make all of this in the last Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You know. All right, let's move on to a game we actually care about. Brett, you could lead us off with this one. Oddworld Soulstorm.
I'm very confused by this game. I think there was a game promised to me a long while ago that I guess I thought just kind of came out and I somehow missed it, of a new Oddworld game, but it was a indie game from the Oddworld developer. Like, it was from the actual developers, but it was kind of an indie game.
Well,
And it
that's
was
what
going back to the side-scrolling kind of
That's what
nature.
they are. They're literally, that company Oddworld was always sort of been an indie company. Now he's producing all the games. Lauren Lanning is producing all the games on his own, and just
He is. And so what was the one that was in 3D? Stranger or something?
Stranger's
the
Wrath.
Stranger's Wrath.
Stranger's Wrath.
Stranger's Wrath.
And then Oddworld, the other Oddworld game, there was a 3D. It was Munch's Odyssey, which is also a third, like a
Yes,
third.
I genuinely liked both of those games, and I was actually happy with how they handled moving a game from, because I always have loved Oddworld. Like, I don't know about how much you guys know. This franchise dates back to when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like
it's a PlayStation game.
It's a PlayStation game, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's an old game. Like, I've always loved Oddworld, and I love the side scrolling. I loved the kind of Lemmings-esque aspect to it, and I love the a lot of it. All of it still seems intact, but for some reason, I really liked how they moved to 3D, and moving backwards to 2D. Just, and I'm probably this feels like a step backwards a little bit.
Officially, so they actually redid the first Oddworld game. That's the Oddworld New and Tasty, which literally is, as opposed to using pre-rendered graphics, it's actually all done in engine. So they redid that game. So now officially they're continuing the story onward, because this is from an interview a while ago. That's why I'm seeing this game. I'm like, this is an old game, because he did an interview and he showed gameplay of this game a while ago, saying like, yes, like he always had this sort of big plan for the Oddworld games, but they just never got to do them. So this is him kind of essentially doing an official Oddworld 2 and kind of taking, well, I guess was his name, I can't remember his name, Abe, to do new different places, maybe a little dark, all kinds of other shit. So I think that's what this is.
Does New and Tasty cover both Abe's Exodus and Abe's Odyssey?
Yes,
or just Odyssey?
Okay,
that makes sense. Because I honestly thought that New and Tasty was just Abe's Odyssey, and I had heard Soulstorm before, but I thought it was just a New and Tasty version of Abe's Exodus. So it makes way more sense. Okay, this is a full sequel.
Yeah,
because I thought Abe's Exodus was the sequel, but no, I guess this is just going to be Oddworld 2, which is cool.
Yeah. So it's continuing the story, and then from what they're saying in the thing, there's going to be multiple ones. But I mean, we'll see how it goes with this.
I mean, despite what I sound like, I'm excited. I'm going to buy it. And anybody out there who's listening, if you don't know what Oddworld is, don't even bother researching. Just buy this game. You will think.
Hey,
Oddworld's
I mean,
awesome.
Brett, why not play the new and tasty Oddworld game and see how? Because it's probably this game is probably going to be a sort of improved version of that.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, from what I'm seeing here, this is a follow up to it. So yeah.
Untasted. Why not play it on the PlayStation Classic? Wait, why wasn't that on the PlayStation Classic?
This is a good point. Yeah.
What's on there?
The original Oddworld. Yeah, the New and Tasty is. I mean, this is a follow up to New and Tasty. So there you go. All right, let's move on. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. This one graphically looked really nice. It looked like a Pixar movie. A girl in a forest with some
with the brothers. Yes.
Yeah, Pikmin kind of looked like a little bit. She had
a little hurdy-gurdy going on in there.
A lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
Like those Miyazaki things, the little from Spirited Away, those little the black balls that jump around.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they kind of look like that, don't they?
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Like Tony mentioned, it looked like a cartoon, like a real cartoon you're playing. But yeah, hopefully we get to play that. Did it have a date?
No.
Yeah, just like most things in this whole thing, there's no dates and there's only like there's no direct dates, and they just say like maybe if they do give a date, it's like holiday something 2020.
Because what I do know, it is a console exclusive for like a limited amount of time. So Sony, I guess, paid them to get it for a little while before
Sony?
Microsoft does.
I didn't check to see if this one was also a PlayStation 4 game, but quite a bit of those indie games are actually PS4 games, and they
I
actually
would
say
be
it too.
surprised. Yeah, it looks like. I'm not sure. I'm looking at a post. It looks like it's a PS5 game actually.
Yeah, it is a PS5 game.
Yeah, because I don't think the PS4 can handle those graphics like that.
Yeah, it looked too clean, man.
Yeah. All right, so there you go with that. Next up, we have best game of the show. Goodbye Volcano High.
Was that a game or?
I'm so confused by this game.
It looked like one of those sort of what do they call them? Those
adventure games.
No, those something.
Kind of like Night in the Woods.
Oh, the novels.
Yeah,
Game
one of
novel.
those.
Visual novel.
So,
It looked
Yeah,
like
the
Life is
graphic novel.
Strange mixed with the TV show Dinosaurs. That's what it looked like to me. So I'm
oh,
guessing
not
this
the
game-
mama.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
the
exactly.
mama.
I'm guessing this game's gonna end with the meteor striking.
Is that how that series ended?
Yeah.
Yep.
The meteor
Yeah.
struck and they all
Yeah.
fucking died.
Oh, that's
The darkest series finale ever.
Yeah, that was pretty dark.
It's the only way it could have ended because
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
and Adam, the way it ended, it wasn't like in a big blast, like the meteor hit, but it just stopped snowing.
It
and
froze
shit.
everything.
Yeah,
They were
so-
gonna freeze in the ice age.
Yeah, the last shot is the family just like staring, looking at the camera, realizing they are doomed.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
the bleakest thing ever.
Yeah, with the ashes falling, like damn, man, not the mama, mama dead.
that had a short run, right? I think it was only like 2 seasons.
Yeah, it wasn't very.
It was expensive, man.
It wasn't
It
like
was an
Alf.
expensive show,
Alf
yeah.
was-
Yeah, well,
Well, no. The thing about dinosaurs is that they had expensive suits that they were running in those things. It cost a lot of money to run that stuff.
Yeah.
But Alf
It-
used just a
yeah.
cheap
This tells the fact that we're talking about dinosaurs instead of this game lets you know how excited we are for
I
this.
mean,
Yeah, especially me talking about it.
it's
Looks
I mean,
cool.
it's going for us, for an audience, that likes that sort of.
I mean, that's
sort of-
fine. I don't know. I mean, I'll talk about it later. but I
Not,
don't
here's
know.
the thing: not everything needs to be your bag.
No, it doesn't,
That's the great thing about games. You can hit as
Yeah.
many different.
Well, no, I said that. It's like, again, I appreciate the fact that there's a lot of variety in here, but half of this shit's not for me,
But the only problem is for a PS5 reveal where we're supposed to
Yes.
be demonstrating the power of the system, and
Yeah.
I just saw a flash animation
Yeah.
for an intro to a
That's-
game.
that's-
Like,
Don't you know the future is Flash animation?
oh god.
Okay,
It
I'm
did
just,
look a lot like Night in the Woods.
Yeah, a little bit. It does. Yeah. Brett, go ahead, man.
I'm just gonna say it. The game is a little bit furry-ish.
Yeah,
I
I
can
can
see
see
that.
that.
I'm not kicking anybody. I'm not you. You do your thing, man.
They're
I'm
called
just
Scalies.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Scalies.
There are clearly like love interests in the game that are female dinosaurs. That I'm still trying to wrap my head around this because like
There actually is a species of lizard that is all female.
Really?
They reproduce by one basically like changing its sex long enough to actually mate.
Hmm.
But like most of the time, the species of lizard is entirely female.
Sounds like the Asari from
Nature's
Mass Effect.
weird.
Yeah, it sounds like the
Damn.
Asari from Mass Effect. Okay, yeah, I mean, hey, if you like any of these type of games, there you go. Goodbye Volcano High. The next one up is called Jet the Far Shore. I'm gonna have to run this trailer again because I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
barely
which one?
remember this
Yeah,
fucking
which one
thing.
was that?
Jet the Far Shore.
Shit.
It's the one where it looks like some sepia tone type of game, some weird robots, some monuments.
Yeah, that doesn't do a damn
Yeah, I
thing.
think we could skip that.
Oh wait, is that the Super Brothers game?
I don't
Super
know.
Brothers.
Or
Yeah,
I
okay,
guess.
yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about them. Like, Super Brothers kind of makes sort of weird sort of games.
I feel like there's
Well-
this whole genre of indie game that it's like slow, sad music, then pull back, and these people going to space because they're reaching out for the stars, and it's like this touching like Wings of Harmony's journey, and it's like an entire genre of indie games that just does that for its trailer.
Yeah, it's an interest. It's a one that doesn't give you exactly a full idea as to what you're doing. But again, it's Super Brothers. They sort of make sort of kind of weird games. I mean, the most normal game they ever made was a Sword and Sorcery for the phones, because at least there was a general, you know, a general. You got what was going on. You're just like you're the Scythian, and you're essentially beating up all these monsters. But then there's that weird ending that happens in that game, like a weird meta ending. So, and then they had, I think Super Brothers did another game for, that was an Xbox exclusive. It was like a dungeon crawling sort of game. But I don't remember that one coming out for anything else. But then again, yeah, that's about it. I mean, I think it's interesting that they're making games for the consoles now and not just trying to make iPhones work for gaming. So, yeah. Can't say I'm exactly interested, but I would like to see a little bit more.
All right, next up we got Godfall. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna borrow this from Paris Lily from Gamertag Radio. By the way, I did a quick thing with Danny Pena from Gamertag Radio, talk about the PS5, and this is where he told me about this. Basically said, anytime you see a trailer for a game and you have like a bunch of like hip hop music playing, it means the developers are trying too hard, and I kind of agree with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So like half this conference.
No, I mean this was a little
video.
This conference was half hipster music, half hip hop, punctuated by blah music every now and again.
Yeah, but like this was like kind of blatant. Hey, here's like I said this before about Godfall. I don't give a fuck. It looks like Melee Destiny. I'm done with that.
I was expecting it to be Battleborn too.
Yeah,
I from the first trailer that we saw, it looked amazing, and then you see this, I'm like, oh, really? It's El Generico, the game. No thanks. No thanks.
Is it just a ripoff of Smite? It looks a lot like Smite.
It's a lot like every other crap that we've seen. So it was not special. Not special at all.
Yeah, I can't get excited about this shit.
I mean, like, I wasn't really that impressed when I saw it at the
first time. Yeah.
What is it, GDX or whatever they call it? The Stupid Game Awards. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that impressed with it either. Then.
I'm tired of these fucking, looters. Oh, this is not a looter shooter, but this is like a looter hacker. I don't know.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was like a Ninja Turtles game because I was like, oh, he sort of looks like a Ninja Turtle. Look at this guy. And then
it's gonna be wildly successful.
He's like, and then you're like,
oh god, Red, you're probably right. You're probably
Dude,
right.
You know who's playing this? The Diablo crowd.
You think so?
The Diablo crowd? I don't know about that.
Adam, you're a Diablo crowd, man.
Adam is the Diablo crowd.
Yeah, no, this is not. No.
I mean,
I would have preferred an upgraded version of Path of Exile than this shit. This is not.
It looked kind of like a fantasy version of For Honor. Like, I didn't get the sense of a whole bunch of like mobs you're fighting like you would in Diablo. It's more just like the sort of back and forth of guys approximately your size and capability.
Yeah. So are you fighting other people in this game? Like, what are you doing in this thing?
Yeah, they haven't been exactly clear about it. I mean, it just looks like you're just beating up a bunch of people doing cool moves, and I don't know. And, I mean, is anybody in the chat?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you're excited, because I've seen people on Twitter. Yeah, you're excited for it, Brett?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't understand the confusion on it. Like, dude, like, it's a console trying to tap into the market of what kind of World of Warcraft is, and I don't understand why nobody had done that. Everything was a looter shooter. Like, okay, so you made very successful MMOs, and then you took that model and you kind of dumbed it down, and you made looter shooters, and you never thought to put a fucking sword in somebody's hand, like, I don't know, the model that you took from. This is going to be, and this is what the game is. This is going to be a great second game. This is going to be a great game that when you finish your other game, you go back just killing shit in the world and killing time. It's going to fill that Monster Hunter void when Monster Hunter void finally closes. And
I don't know, Brett. I feel like you might be giving it a little bit too much cadence. I mean, from those couple of
no, I'm in the mindset of like,
I think Torchlight 3 is going to be that for me.
It's like pizza, man. Even, and I'm probably going to eat these words, but even when it's bad, it's still kind of good. I can get sick of that shit with looter shooters, but I melee games, like, dude, you You do the same shit in Devil May Cry for 5 hours straight, but you suddenly
But at
don't.
least, but at
do it.
least,
It's
but at least
multiplayer.
they have different combos. That game looked like it just had 2 combos that were just keep reusing over and over again.
I'm sure they have a ton of different weapons and a ton of different combos. Come on, they're not going to launch with 2 fighting styles.
All right.
So, and I guarantee you there's going to be different weapons. It's a looter game. You're going to.
As of now, I'm gonna go with Adam's description: El Generico, the game.
Yeah,
y'all have had that with shooters for years. The people who like melee games have just been sitting on the sidelines like,
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, just to
be fair, cool.
Like, Brett. To be fair, yes, the game is at least doing melee version of this, so I'll give it that. I'm just personally not caring about it, But I will give them props for that,
Don't mistake it. I'm not defending it too much. That's why I say it's a great second game. It'll be a great fuck off game. The same way GTA is.
Until it's on PlayStation Plus, then I'll play it that way.
Man, Adam, let's be honest. If 5 of your friends start playing, you're playing this game.
Of course, thank you.
Isn't this one of the games that actually is coming out this fall?
It's one of the launch games.
Yeah, late 2020. Yeah, late 2020. Yeah, I think it is a launch game. Yeah.
So if you do get a PS5, this is the game. Like, this is a game that you're capable of sinking hundreds of hours into. It has nothing to do with.
What is it?
No.
Is it gonna be?
Hold on. It has nothing to do with quality. It has to do with the structure of it. And Brian, you're being awfully quiet. You can back me up on this.
Brian's not here, man.
Brian's not here.
There's a ton of PC games that are built off of this. And whether or not they're good, all of a sudden you're like, dude, did I spend 250 hours playing this total? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, it is a tried and true method. It worked with Warcraft for years. It worked with EverQuest for years before that. It's worked with Destiny. Even though Destiny was bad, everybody bought Destiny too. This is one of those games that we're all going to complain about, and then people like, I'm going to buy it, and then a friend of mine is going to buy it, and another person's going to buy it, and then that's going to make Tony buy it, and he'll be player 4.
They're gonna force me to review this shit for work.
See, there'll be enough of your friends playing that you'll be like, I'll get that game, sure. That's going to be this game. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's going to be a virtual playground. You can hang out with your friends. That's why it's going to be successessul. Because
or it's going to be another Battleborn and people will forget about it within 4 weeks of it coming out.
That is true. But you're not going to have a whole lot of options on the PS5.
It also reminds me of...
You're right, Brett. Like, this game could be but let's just be real. Why was Destiny a hit initially? Because there was nothing else to play. This thing could fill that void.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Destiny had really good feel, though, at least.
It did play very well, yes.
A lot of hype.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this game's going to be the exact same. I think it's going to play well. It looks
the exact same.
I think it's going to be the exact same.
Brett, have you been smoking something?
Yeah, he has.
I mean, yes, but that has nothing to do with anything.
You're saying Godfall is going to be on the same level as Destiny.
It's the first
Destiny, the broken ass awful game that tricked everybody into buying it. Sure,
I'm talking about a game. Destiny was fucking huge when it came out. So many fucking people played that game.
Dude, the attach rate on this game is going to be insane.
Throwdown. We need another wager going on.
When they showed this off, I didn't see any good comments. With Destiny had a lot of hype going into it.
Because it was Bungie and all that,
Yeah, that was Bungie, exactly. Yep. It was coming from the Halo universe type of deal, so people were buying it.
Million. I'm telling you, the tagline for this game, someone else can play.
What Tony was talking about, people dropping off, it was after they showed that shit. He was just like, I'm done.
All right, anyway, let's move on, man. Next up, one of the games that has some of the best sweat mechanics I've ever seen, NBA 2K21.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yep. That's all we got to say about that.
I mean, it's not like, did they improve the sweat from the last games that they had fucking sweat on the basketball players?
It is.
Are they bringing back Spike Lee for the campaign?
Yes. Oh man. You know what this reminded me of? I think it was last gen. I know it is last gen. We're still on PS4. It was a boxing game that people were like, "Oh shit, look at the sweat in that fucking game." You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Fight Night. Yeah. It reminded me of Fight Night. It's like where the emphasis was on the sweat, right? Very
Well,
interesting.
you know, like EA not only knows how to give you you know,
Well, it's 2K.
This is 2K.
predatory microtransactions. They can do some pretty damn good looking sweat.
Well, this is rivaling EA Sweat because it's
Yeah,
made
it
by
is.
by
It's
Sony.
2K. But the other thing is that there's no season. There's no NBA season now. So it's
Now
like
they
they
gotta
can't
make it up.
really hype up. Yeah, they can't really say, "Oh, remember that big trade? Remember when this team dominated?" And,
Well,
and they usually couldn't
no,
do it.
the season's starting up next month.
Yeah, but that's too late.
It's
It's
gonna
too
be
late.
truncated. Yeah.
All of
All
them
right.
are trying to start
Yeah.
up. It's not going to be the same.
All right, let's move on because who cares about this? All right, next up we have Solar Ash, which is another indie.
It's
game.
the Hyperlight Drifter guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was made by those guys. I mean, it's nice to see them doing a 3D game and kind of transferring that sort of art style that the main director has.
Looks
it. So,
rad.
yeah, it looked nice.
Yeah, the graphic it looks nice. Yeah. Nothing more to say about
It's
that.
colorful.
Yeah. Next up, Brett. This is the one that got you excited. Deathloop by Bethesda.
Fuck yes.
It's another one of
I am-
these loopy games.
Yeah. It's loopy, but it's super self-aware, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. You can throw people with your mind, which boom, that's really compelling to me. But you know, they're throwing people in the air, doing trick shots. I like the grindhouse appeal. I like the shooting / throwing people around mechanics. Like it kind of reminds me of Bulletstorm a little bit. You know, you throw people up and shoot them, and you know, just do these wacky over the top like gunshot battle kind of things. And I like the idea that, like, yeah, if you get killed, you just wake up the next day and everybody's having a crazy murder party against you. So have fun, do it again. But slowly you're figuring out, like, okay, so this guy's here, and this guy's here, and this guy's going to be here. So it kind of has that Dark Souls mechanic of you learn by dying.
It's spy versus spy.
Yeah, it's part Manhunt, part Dark Souls, part Dishonored, which I didn't really like, but
Part Braid.
yeah, it's just the DNA of this thing is made up of a whole bunch of stuff that I like, but not in a ham-fisted like we're just gonna throw it all together. Like it just also kind of happened to pop up in this one place because it worked cohesively. Like I see a lot of games where like, what's popular? Okay, let's jam that in here. What else is popular? Okay, let's jam that in here. It reminds me of that. This game reminds me of.
I wish you felt the same way with Horizon Zero Dawn.
I do too. I do too. Damn.
Oh man.
Well, Arcane's making this one, so like it's probably going to feel like a lot like Dishonored.
Yeah.
And it even has like the flash, the jump blink spell thing that you had in Dishonored. So it's like, it's almost like they just poured. It looks kind of like if Dishonored got a House of the Dead Overkill mod.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
That's a good
one.
one. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I thought it looked.
What happened, man?
I thought it looked like that one Xbox. Well, the Xbox got this company, We Happy Few, was it called? Yeah, it looked like We Happy Few to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. All right. Next up, Manny. Here's one for you that you know you were telling everybody. What happened?
Nobody else excited for this?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Is anybody else excited for this?
Yeah, this one and the demolition game. That was it.
Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah, I don't care. I didn't care about whatchamacallit.
Well, I never played Dishonored.
I never care about Dishonored, so I don't care about this.
At first, it
sounds real good.
Yeah, Compulsion Games. Thank you, Reggie. All right, next up, Manny. Little Devil Inside.
So, okay, Little Devil Inside. I remember seeing a Kickstarter years ago, 2015. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, hey, you know, I've been kind of keeping track of it over the years. And I was like, oh, hey, this looks really nice. And I even put a little thing, hey, you know, this is a really cool looking game. Maybe we should, support it. So they actually did, finalize their Kickstarter. In other words, they were funded. Let's see, how many years later? 16, 17, 18, 19.
5 years.
5 years later, they actually have something ready. So I'm like, okay, I definitely was very interested in the game. By the way, this is also a game that's going to be on PS4. So I don't think this was one of the better choices to showcase on this PlayStation 5 show. But I mean, I'm interested in the game. And it's also from what I read on there, because immediately went to their Kickstarter and they updated it, and they said that this game is obviously it was meant to be just a PC game originally, and they didn't have any sort of plans of other if they were going to put it on anything else until recently, and it's also a timed exclusive. So,
Can I ask you a question about me?
yeah, what's up?
What is this game? Because they did not.
From what I remember, it was a sort of a semi-survival sort of quest game.
Like, what is it? Like, why is it? I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like the little guy is like adventuring inside of the old guy, or
no, the little guy and the old guy are both sort of, at least from what I remember, they were together, and he sort of sends the warrior guy out and to do things. He just kind of sits around and being a lazy ass kind of a thing.
Do you play him sitting around being a lazy ass?
I don't know. That's the thing. The game has changed so much since I've seen it last. Last time I remember seeing it, he wasn't fighting dragons. He was just fighting these little kind of devilly things that would go all over the place and stuff like that. And it was a semi-open worldish experience, or you could travel deserts and all kinds of other things. So I don't know what the game is exactly now. So yeah,
I feel like a trailer should do a good job of giving you a general idea of what the product / game is, and I feel like only
it just
10%
seemed
of this conference, like I walked away from more videos going, "What the fuck was that?" Than I think any time before.
They just seem to show you a bunch of things, but nothing exactly connected to how you actually interact or what type of sort of game it is.
The next game epitomizes that. But let's anybody else care about this little devil inside game?
No.
Not really, to be honest.
I'm mildly interested in the game, because I just remember, I just like the style, and I remember seeing it years ago. So, I mean, I'm interested in seeing more. But, yeah, and I think the thing is that thing's coming out soon. It's coming out, what was it, the same, again, holiday 2020.
All right, there you go. All right, let's talk about the game that's probably the weirdest fucking game here, Bug Snacks. Where, like, I don't even know how to explain this fucking game. There's some
Dana got hyped on it.
strawberries and shit. It's like, what the hell is this game?
You are what you eat type of thing. Whatever you eat is what you turn into.
You can just say from the makers of Octodad, and it makes sense.
That actually does make sense.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck am I looking at?
It's psychosis.
Brett,
It definitely
a little bit.
is.
Say that again. The last part.
It's psychosis.
Yeah, I felt like Brett. When I was watching this, I thought I was smoking your weed, bro. Like, I was like, what is going on?
Dude, when I was like, my weed doesn't do this. Like, I don't even know.
This is definitely going to be a day none for me.
Day none.
Day none.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who this game is made for.
You
Just said it.
Why would I play this game?
Because I think only people under the influence can enjoy it. This thing is wacky as hell.
It's horrifying.
I mean, you never played Octodad, right? Brett, you never played that.
No,
one.
I did not.
About it.
I had to review that fucking game.
So I'm gonna say this. I mean, as much as you think Brett is into weird things, he's not into weird things. Not like this.
Yeah, this
is
There are different tiers of weird.
Yeah. No,
this is
Brett is not.
definitely
This is not Brett's level of weird. I don't think it's anybody's level of weird on this podcast.
No, I mean, I don't think
I think
anybody
it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting, but nah, I don't care.
I'm pretty sure that's what a stroke looks like.
Again, another game that was that was a PS4 game. That one was also on PS4 as well. So
Yeah.
Noticing
a pattern here with a lot of these indie games.
We're getting a lot, like the ones that are, again, the big story that we're being told. What's happening here is, again, all the games that are coming out recently, they're cross generation, and then there's a very scant few that are actually PS5. Interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the last game here, Astros Playroom.
Is that a game? It just looks like a demo disc.
That is actually a game, and it's going to be on your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, so it's going to be the
It's
best-selling game.
It's going to be included with your PS5, essentially like the way Playroom was originally. But Playroom, you couldn't interact with it without a Move controller. This one,
Can I delete it when I'm done?
Yeah, I don't want that shit on my hard drive, man. There's not a lot of space on
Stay
that
on it,
shit.
like some phone apps where you just can't delete.
So is this going to automatically be the best-selling PlayStation 5 game just because it comes with the fucking console? You know?
Yeah, probably. But I mean, that's a good point. Like this, we're scarcing around for fucking hard drive or solid state space.
Yeah, no, it's got to go.
It's pre-installed.
It's got to go.
I'm pretty sure Red Dead Redemption 2 with its new texture packs and the DLC and the online is going to be enough to fill up that 800 terabyte.
They already said that's not coming, so.
Oh, that's another question. You'll screw this game. I'm gonna change the game.
Yeah, well, don't skip ahead too much because we will be talking about the hardware soon. You know, but
I'm not skipping too ahead. This has to do with the game.
Okay.
We saw GTA 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What game didn't we see? They came out from the same studio.
Only two.
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead 2.
We didn't see why no Red Dead 2?
Because the game's
big money maker.
Yeah, GTA Online is the money maker.
I was telling you guys, like the multiplayer when we were talking about, like, I want to harken back to an episode blank where I was talking about how multiplayer in half the longevity in a game like this, and you were all saying that no, it is the notoriety, it is the story, it is the must-have that everybody's going to buy this game. So Red Dead will continue to sell the way GTA did.
Nobody said that, Brett. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We all said it's a cowboy game. We said it's going to sell very well, and it did sell very well.
Yeah, it did.
GTA,
as I was saying, it was
GTA. No way.
No sustained sales. That was my point.
Yeah, no.
Without multiplayer, you don't have any sustained sales.
We didn't disagree with you because, like, they don't have rockets and shit in fucking Red Dead, you know, for the online.
I mean, they would have. They would have gotten them in there. I guarantee you, they would have found a way.
Yeah, that's also true. So anyway, before we get to the hardware, just quickly about the game showcase. Again, like I said, when it comes to games, I liked what they showed during the first quarter. I liked what they showed during the last quarter, but the middle part, all these fucking indie games, man. I was like, come on, man. Like, like, you know, I think we all agree there's a lot of padding going on, and then the fucking symbols everywhere. You know, like, again, if you like indie games, that's cool. But you know, when I'm playing games, I want some big production shit, and you know, I didn't really get that here, which is fine. But I don't know, not for me. Didn't get me excited.
No, don't say that. It's not fine.
It's not fine. Oh.
They're trying to sell us on a new generation console. This thing's probably going to be worth $500 or more. And they're not showcasing the hardware. They're not giving us gameplay. That we only got the Ratchet gameplay that was like the most substantial out of all the AAA games. And a lot of people would even disagree that Ratchet is a AAA game, but I disagree. And it's bullshit that they didn't show anything to showcase the system. Like if I'm a person that just buys everything just because I like to be, you know, up to date with the hardware. But for people that are not me and are not like people that within the industry that have to review games for it, like, why would they buy the system? This conference did nothing to move the needle to little Timmy to get this console. They didn't even show Fortnite in this. They didn't even show Assassin's Creed Valhalla on this, and that fucking game was everywhere.
I don't need to see that again.
You don't need to see it again. But I think you are definitely right, Carlos. It's like there is nothing, and this is also the same thing that the Xbox thing had too. The only difference is that there's actually really some decent games that were in this one.
Yes.
But there was nothing that we saw within this one and within the Xbox one that said, "Hey, this is what the next generation is going to be." I mean, Ratchet looked great, but Ratchet also you could literally say, if you said that was a PS4 game, that was fine. They showed their Resident Evil game. It looked great, but at the same time, there was blurry textures and there was frame rate skipping in it. Now, is that what the next generation is?
Maybe.
Because I don't know. I mean, if it's just going to like a slightly shinier version of the current generation, then, you know, there's no reason for me to go on to the new one. I could just play whatever's coming out.
But that's the thing, man. We didn't even get the shinier presentation.
Yeah, we really did. It's just, again, it's like you can. We got a better presentation from that 3-minute or 5-minute Unreal demo as to what the next generation would look like. A legitimate needle pusher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should we
I didn't see anything here that made me say, "Hey, you need to buy this system day one."
No, there was nothing there that said, "Hey, this is the thing that." Like again, you when you look at even with the PlayStation 4, there were games on there that, like, especially when you look at Killzone Shadowfall, that game definitely shows you what that shit can do. Even to this day, looking at that game, it's like, wow, that looks like a really fucking nice game.
Yeah, even though the game turned out to be bullshit, but you're right about that.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. It was just made to look fucking pretty. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't, like, here's the thing. Whoever, like, there's a very scant few of launch games that are actually worth a damn. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the launch game is there to demo what the thing can do. At least PlayStation 4 had that. What do we have here? Is it going to be Miles Morales? I don't know, because they just probably just used the previous Spider-Man engine and just did a couple of things to it and put that thing out. I don't know, but we didn't see anything that legitimately made you say, "Hey, this is the thing, I need to get it." And then looking at the amount of you look at how many titles that they set on there. A lot of them are not coming out anytime soon. Some of them are coming, you know, and then again, the ones that are coming now are ones that are on the previous generation, with the exception of a few.
Yeah. Will, overall, what do you think of the games that they showed?
You know, the fact that there were more first parties, I'm feeling kind of good, at least about the Insomniac games, and just seeing that it's happening. Like, there definitely was a better selection than what Xbox showed off.
Yeah.
But I mean, none of it really looked game changing in terms of what the graphical capabilities are going to be. Like, we're reaching this point where the next generation just doesn't feel like it's going to look like the next generation. Like, if it runs at a solid 4K 60, that'd be awesome, but it's not going to.
I agree.
And yeah, it's just like it's going to be this like step up that isn't nearly as significant as like PS2 to PS3.
And yeah, I want to jump in on that real quick, because that was my biggest fear for this generation. That it's like, because from PS3 to PS4, it really wasn't that big of a leap, and I was like, I think it's going to be less of a leap between PS4 and PS5, and it looks like that. Again, the only thing that got me excited so far is that fucking Unreal demo. That's the only thing that's gotten me excited so far. And and that's coming late next year or something.
No, how many tech engine demos actually become games?
That's what I'm saying.
Like how many games look as good as tech engine demos? Like,
yeah,
the engine demos are used to milk every bit of the engine out, and devs working on new hardware for consoles. We don't even see like consoles get pushed to their limits until like 3 years into their lifespan, when
no,
people
you're right
know
about
how
that.
to handle it.
I'm glad you bring that up, because I was watching the Unreal 4 demo, right? Yeah, games look like that now. You know, look how long it took. So yeah, it's going to be a while. But yeah, you're right. A lot of these things that we saw is like graphically, and I know that may sound shallow or whatever, but to me, I want to see something. You know, I need to see some crazy graphical leap, and I'm not seeing that at all. You know,
and even something like, you know, or something like what Brett had always talks about, where essentially, okay, it may not be a graphical leap, but it's something else that can only be done on a modern console. And even PlayStation 4 had that, where you had that Shadows of Mordor game where the game remembered stuff.
Yeah, Nemesis system. Yeah,
the Nemesis. Now, granted, the game was also on the PS3 and Xbox 360, but that
without the Nemesis system.
Without the Nemesis system.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what things can we do with these things that essentially says that they're like, okay, you have way more enemies on the screen, and I kind of felt that a little bit with the Ratchet and Clank game, but not by much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I want to get to the good stuff now. The actual hardware. We were by the end during the stream, I was like, "Oh shit, are we actually going to see this fucking thing or not?" But they showed it, and it's interesting. So, Will, I know you.
I want to hear the when they revealed the PlayStation next to when they revealed the Xbox. Our audio takes of them.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to compare to the Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox one was like, what the fuck?
We didn't expect
a true surprise. We didn't expect to see that.
I wish E3 was on just so like I could have been there and just heard the crowd react to it.
Yeah,
Because it'd probably have been up there with when they announced that the Vita was on AT&T, of just the entire crowd going, "What?"
yeah. So go ahead, man. What do you think of the design and all that stuff?
It looks like an Xbox 360 giving birth to a PS2. It looks like a project that got someone at Alienware fired. Some other good one.
Definitely looks like
Another good one.
Looks
Solid burn.
Hold on,
Solid
hold on.
burn.
Yeah.
like an Asus router.
I thought it looked like a router.
Looks like a router. Looks like an air purifier.
It might
Looks
sound
like a cross
air-
between. Looks like a cross between the Burj Dubai and Aretha Franklin's hat. Like, I want to keep going. There, like it looks stupid, and it might be totally cool when it comes out, and it's good that you can lay it flat because I do not want that. Like, TVs are wide now. They are wide. You don't want to have a big freaking tower like in front of your screen,
Next
and
to
who
it,
is like
yeah.
space next to
You can
Who's space next
actually
to it?
you can actually lay it flat, but from if
Yeah.
you look at the pictures of it flat, it still needs a stupid stand.
It,
So the
it,
stand-
because
which
it's
is weird.
asymmetrical. It looks
Yeah, it's-
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has this rounded bottom, or weirdly done up
The
bottom.
giant tech taco that it is.
Yes, yes. So the thing is that it
It's
has the stand,
ill-conceived.
it has the stand to make it stand up upright, which is the only flat sides of the damn thing. But there's also the same stand also can sit underneath it and turn it horizontal.
It looks like the hat of the Pope robot.
Yeah, it looks like a water filter, man. Like
It looks like
brittle water filter.
everything
Yeah.
else except a damn console.
My thing
So-
is like, because I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I'm still not sure how I feel about this thing. I will say this though, because there's so many nooks and crannies and curves and all that. I'm worried about dust getting in there and being hard to get out. You know, because I think they made like extra vents and shit to prevent dust from
It
like
looks like
getting
a
in.
giant vent.
Yeah, it looks like a giant vent, but
Yeah.
I'm like, won't these giant vents make all that dust go inside too? You know what I'm saying?
That's why they painted it white,
Yeah.
so it doesn't
Yeah.
show the dust.
Well, that should be black.
No, black. Anything that's black shows the dust instantly. But
No, that's why you get a black car, man, so you don't have to clean it so much.
Yeah.
We all know.
Oh no!
No.
I have a black car. That shit, you fucking sneeze on that shit, and you can see everything.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Chris. You've seen that all
Chris
the
had a black car. I
Yeah,
remember
it-
that.
It's black
own
and
color.
white.
I own
It
a
doesn't-
black car now.
It doesn't matter. It's both colors.
No.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's both colors.
and it
Was
glows, and it glows.
Dana said it looked like a wife beater shirt.
What?
It does. Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to unsee that. Why is it aerodynamic?
Mm. Somebody said it looked like the Barclays Center in
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like some Elysium bullshit.
Yeah, and we saw the size comparison. This thing's fucking monstrous. It's bigger than the Xbox One Series X, you know?
It's tall.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But the interesting thing is there's two versions of it. There's the all digital one with no disc tray, and then one with a disc tray. You know, so
There's the one that people are going to buy in the old digital version.
yeah. Oh man. By the way, I'm one of those guys. I'm buying the all digital one. I don't want a fucking disc tray. I don't need that shit.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't need that shit. And this thing, I gave up on physical like 6 years ago when I realized like, hold on, the physical games take up just as much space on my hard drive as the digital ones. I'm just gonna go all digital.
Well, my
you know?
thing is my PS4 is my Blu-ray player, so this would be my main
Yep.
media center. You know.
And
So I
it
needed
finally
this
plays. It finally plays Ultra HD Blu-ray now.
Oh, that's good, yeah. But I don't
Yeah.
even watch movies anymore, so that this shit doesn't work for me. And here's the thing: what about the pricing? Do you think this version is going to be cheaper? I think
No.
it will be.
Maybe 50, maybe 100 at most, but
At
I'm thinking
most.
probably $50 cheaper
Yeah,
because that's
Yeah.
what the Xbox SAD was next to the Xbox One S.
yeah.
If they put a large SSD in there, then that'll
I doubt
balance
that.
it out.
I think it's
They're
just
gonna
gonna
have
have the
to-
same
they're
That's
gonna
a
drive.
big maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think internally, without the disc tray, it's going to be the same thing.
Yo, you want me to bring the tinfoil hat theory?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Where's
By
that?
the way,
at?
I'm just gonna say that I don't believe it. It is ludicrous and it's stupid, but I'm just gonna say it. The all digital version is gonna be the same price, the disc version and the all digital version, but the all digital version is gonna come with a remastering engine.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, no,
Nailed it.
no, sorry. The disc version is gonna come with a remastering engine, so you can put your disc in.
Oh man.
By the way, Brett, you asked for something, and you want me to provide you with the. One
I mean,
second.
if I asked for it.
You asked for it, so Tony, let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead. This is our reaction to the Xbox reveal. Go ahead. Wait, what the
Dude!
hell?
Oh, that's the new Xbox system.
Console.
Excuse me?
It's a goddamn tower.
Whoa! Monolith.
Whoa, is this a Scarlet? Whoa, hold on. Whoa.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
That's beautiful.
Oh my god!
That is dope
That's
as hell.
beautiful.
Wait, what?
That's beautiful.
Series X.
That's beautiful.
Okay, I don't think it's
Hold
an
on, I'm
actual.
going to
I don't know what
pre-order
the fuck that is.
Hold
It
on.
might not.
Yeah, all right, so there's our reaction. But here's the
That
thing.
fucked me. By the way, that fucked me up because I feel like it's everybody in the room talking. I'm like, what the?
To be fair though, we kind of saw the PlayStation console being revealed. We didn't see that shit coming a mile away that they were going to show it at the Game Awards, the Xbox
Yeah,
Series
but
X.
It's still.
but
Carlos, you gotta
showmanship's
put
a
it
thing,
in-
Tony. Showmanship's a thing.
No, it is a thing. But in retrospect, both consoles are pretty fucking ugly. To be honest.
No.
You
No, dude, I love the
No, no,
industrial
no,
look of the Xbox.
Yeah,
I'll be
It looks
honest.
like a refrigerator, man.
Yeah, dude, that looks like something. That looks like something old communist Russia built. Like I love that Terran kind of look.
It still looks slick. It looks good.
I like how simple it is.
Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah,
It's brutalist.
Yeah, and then also, Control right there. Speaking of brutalist art, there's also a bunch of peripherals that are. Let's just be honest, they're not coming with the console. This is going to be just available.
It was
I
weird
think
that they
better
showed
not.
that off the way they did too. It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
and we have headphones.
Yeah,
You
I think it-
look at these headphones.
I think that's
An
sort of
official
thing-
media remote's surprising.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
I think they didn't. I think the little bit it was a little bit mysterious as to what they were like, what if they were going to come with it because they show it next to the digital edition of the
Yeah.
So it kind of gives the idea. Oh, hey, it comes with all this other stuff. I don't
not
think
gonna.
they're coming with it.
No
Yeah.
way.
My opinion,
so not-
my
so
opinion
many
on the
people
actual
like
console fluctuates so much. Even within the last minute, I'm like, I like it. No, I don't hate it. I like it. I hate it. I'm still not sure. I just hope it doesn't take up too much goddamn space. But it's really big, so who knows?
It looks really
Do you-
big.
Do you like your Xbox One controller? Because that's what this looks like, feel wise, for the sticks and the grip.
DualSense.
Yeah, it's super wide.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to see. We talked about the controller before. I have to see it.
Yeah.
I have to feel it. I should say.
Yeah, no, you gotta feel it.
Yeah.
It's too bad they didn't show this thing early, like they did with the boomerang version of the controller. That they could actually, the fan reaction can make them actually come to their senses.
Well, no, the
When I
fans
first-
haven't actually been against the new controller design.
No, I haven't had any issues with it, but the console, I don't know
No,
about that.
people seem actually. Here's the thing. I think people like it just because they could meme it so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right now on Twitter, as a matter of fact, you could actually click on that PlayStation new look brought out the memes. And click on it, and it show like it has the Eye of Sauron. They made it into the Eye of Sauron, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, it actually does look like a giant V.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just
A
realized
giant 5.
my tower actually looks like the PlayStation
Kind of.
5.
Here's a question: why did they announce a new camera but not show off a new headset, like a new VR thing? Because that's the
Yeah.
only reason you would have a camera.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, "Where's my fucking headset? I see the camera, you son of a bitch. I see it over there. I know
Well,
what
I
you're
mean-
doing."
To be honest, they said it's compatible with the PlayStation VR, but also there's also probably the idea that they might be doing a revision on the VR.
Oh no, they are.
I
I've
believe that.
I've heard several rumblings from reputable sources that say yes, they
They
are.
better
launching
because the
it.
move has to die.
Dude,
Right?
no, they're launching another one. It's going to be wireless.
Hopefully, I hope that's the
That's-
case.
That's a big question, just because
Dude, they-
like the
Yeah.
the
It's not
latency
really a
needed
question,
for
they-
that video is super, like, it is extreme.
Oh, I'm aware. They have partnered with Oculus.
Yeah, but Oculus hasn't done wireless yet.
No,
Not
they haven't.
officially.
No, they haven't.
HTC has, but even that requires a PCIe card.
Oh,
You can't
Yeah.
do that with a laptop.
yeah.
Like
That- yeah.
wireless VR, like that's tethered to a base is they would need some hardcore they would need like a separate like graphical modem built into it to push that much bandwidth wirelessly. Like it would need to be extreme.
Yeah, I don't think we're there just yet. But I do believe we will get a revision of the PSVR just because of the fact that the thing was so successful. I'm surprised. It was last time I checked, it was like 5 million sold. Which is pretty substantial. So I'm sure we're going to see that. But the current version's available or compatible with the PS5. So maybe it'll make the games look better. I'm not sure. But yeah,
you can't go against the resolution of the unit though.
No, you can't. You can't.
Still only throws a 720p signal at your eyes. So I mean, maybe the games might run a little bit better. Maybe Iron Man VR will run a little bit better, but it won't look any better.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, looking better doesn't matter as much in VR games. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but moving
Refresh
smoothly
rate means more.
Yeah, moving smoothly means way more than
Well, I mean, again, it's like the refresh rate. I don't know what the refresh rate on those things are, but they're probably
It's
not
at least 90. I think it pushes up to 120.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So maybe that maybe the new PlayStation can throw a little bit better stuff at your eyes, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it'll have a higher pixel count or whatever in the headset.
Can I ask, so screw VR. Can I ask the question to the room?
Elephant in the room.
Who's gonna get it? PlayStation 5.
We're all gonna get it. It's just a matter of when we're gonna get it.
Day one.
Okay, who's getting it day one? Who's getting it day one?
They got to show something significant. Nothing
From what we've seen so far.
Oh, Carlos, I'm gonna answer your question. You are.
You're gonna.
I'll probably try to get it day one.
Order.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
I'll get it when Atlas announces Persona 6.
There you go.
Legitimately, when that was the moment when the Persona 5 trailer came out and it said PS4 at the end. That was when I went, shit, now I have to get a PS4.
And you never saw it coming.
Yeah, you never saw it coming. Manny, I already know your answer. You're gonna wait.
No, I am gonna wait as usual. There's nothing here that says I want to play the Spider-Man game, but I can wait on that too. It's not just like what I always say with the Xbox. There has to be a lot more reasons for me to pick up a console to go out day one and day.
Well, it's a good thing you can play that Spider-Man game on your PS4.
If Chris is right about it, then we probably will be able to play it on it. But I don't think so.
Yeah,
you can't launch a console like that.
I hope you're right.
Oh no, I hope you're right, man. But I think I'm right.
First party title, and you weaken it by putting it on the previous generation. No,
no. The Spider-Man thing is coming to PS4. I will bet you right now.
Okay, so hold on. So we have me, Chris, and Brett saying that it's coming to PS4.
Oh no, and me,
and you too.
I don't. If it does, it'll be like a 1 year delay type of shit. Like, we have to figure out a way to get it there, but right now it's a time exclusive.
So you're gonna have an exclusive on your
exclusive to the PS. Hey, they said it's only.
No, they did not say it's exclusive. And secondly, that makes.
Oh nope, you're wrong.
Adam, they
said we've talked about it. They said that they will have exclusive PS5 games. Right?
They didn't say this was though.
They didn't say this was.
Yeah, it makes sense. You make a third
but
party
they didn't
exclusive.
say this one, Adam. They didn't specify this one.
I know
we're not going to go down that road again. We're not going to go down. We fucking did that already. We did that shit already.
They number one, they made it painfully clear on every single feature what is for what console.
Nah, it wasn't that clear to me. It wasn't that clear to me.
Every single thing.
You were looking for it was there.
It said PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. This one didn't say that. It just said PlayStation 5.
Actually, it didn't say PlayStation 5
or 4.
It
didn't say either.
It did not say either.
It didn't say either.
I checked.
And here's the
on PlayStation 5, right?
Here's the other thing. I'll just ask you from a business standpoint. What's the install base of PS4 right now?
Oh, we know this, but they're the reason. Sony's the one.
All right, wait, Adam. I have another question. What's the install base of PS5 right now?
It's super massive.
Yeah,
So-
it's zero. That's what that's all the reason they need. How many people bought Spider-Man 2018?
I'm going to ask.
How many people
I'm going to
are
ask.
they hoping
I'm going to ask
ship for who are the next Spider-Man?
No,
I'm gonna
you
ask-
can't force people to
They
go
said they're
over to
doing
a system, except with you have exclusives later. But at the launch of the PS4, how many games were cross generational?
So
but
you
also,
think
but Killzone wasn't. Knack wasn't.
Okay,
And
hold on.
what does PlayStation 5 have that's going to attract you in on day and date?
that's the only game I could see that could pull anybody in?
Yeah, Spider-Man is going to be that one.
You guys
I
think
don't-
it's going to be an actual game?
I think it's going
No,
to be
I
a game.
don't. By the way,
It's
no,
not.
Brett,
It's not a.
yeah.
It's not a sequel to Spider-Man.
Yeah, Brett,
Yeah, no,
you
no, no.
Brett, hold on, Brett, just
Might
quickly. That's what we were arguing about at the beginning of the show. Basically,
I know.
I think it's going to be a DLC type of game.
No, no,
They
I
think
know.
it's a
Side
full one.
story.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm referring back to that.
Yeah.
So if it's not a full game and it is any sort of standalone DLC kind of thing, you don't have to own the game or anything like that. Are you saying they're going to launch a new system with a standalone DLC for a past generation's game, and that's better than having it on PS4?
I don't know if that's better, but I think that's what's going to happen. You know,
I think,
If that Spider-Man is their flagship game that they're touting,
is it?
they're in trouble. I mean, that's according to Adam and Manny here. It sounds like that's where they're going.
But the thing is that the thing is that you guys are assuming that this is a DLC. Nowhere in it did it say DLC.
Yeah,
Nowhere in it, I think
But
that
it's a
this-
side story like Lost Legacy. It's a side thing. It's not a
no.
full game.
Yeah.
How do you know
Anyway,
that?
again, well, guys, I don't want to revisit this again. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so let's start wrapping this up. So yeah, final thoughts on PlayStation 5 and all that other shit. Yeah, we're done. We're not going to revisit that shit. We're going in fucking circles here. Anyway, PlayStation 5. What final thoughts? Carlos, go ahead. You could lead us off.
This conference was very underwhelming for me. I put on Twitter, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. The lineup was strong, but it was strong in a sense where if this was shown at E3 2017 for the PlayStation conference, it would have been a great conference. I might have given it like a 9 or something like that. But in terms of this being the conference that's going to show off your new system, it's straight ass cheeks. And showing Grand Theft Auto 5 at the beginning was honestly insulting to a lot of us. It was pretty bad. I know all of the new 16-year-olds or to be 16-year-olds that are about to get this game are pretty excited that this game is being shown. But I played this game and I own this game in 3 different platforms. It's ridiculous. Chris already has cheats to get NOS. Brian already cheeses and crashes into people. I don't need that in the next generation. I'm happy to be done with this. So and they mentioned another important thing. Sony mentioned that this system is going to be something that's going to be backwards compatible. That they're going to do sort of these, quick tests, and they have over 100 titles, and they're aiming for 1,000 titles at launch. And it's kind of ironic that this game is not slated to be playable on PS5 until 2021, and that's insult added to injury, if you ask me. And so just to sum it up, I was really disappointed by this showing, and I just find it ironic that I think Brett enjoyed this more than I did.
Damn.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, Brett, since you were mentioned, why don't you go next?
I mean, that says a lot because I didn't really enjoy it.
Damn.
Dude, the only game that I saw that Darks or Demon Souls, yeah, sure, okay, I'm excited for. You pulled that one out of the grave. You handed it to a different developer. I don't know, man. Like I keep hearing it'll be a faithful recreation, so I'll come back and get it. But I feel like that was a real lowball by Sony. Like if that's what you're leading on, you're just like, well, Bloodborne was successful last time. Let's fucking dust off this old guy and put a new spit shine on and just toss it out in the crowd, and everybody will be fucking happy. Like, and this seems like a thing. This studio does a lot of this, and they seem to do a lot of this for Sony. So Sony seems to be dusting off the deep cuts quite a bit lately. Most of the stuff I just wasn't genuinely impressed with. None of it looked next generation. Some of it looked pretty bad, actually. Like there was a couple times during the conference I was like, "Is anyone paying attention to like how bad these character models look?" There wasn't any, you know, fuck. I mean, the last generation's, you know, trailers showcased more beauty than this. You'd see particle effects and ray tracing and shit like that. Like now, I mean, it's in there, and I know that it's in there, but they didn't showcase it. They didn't showcase anything particularly huge. They had a huge middle full of like propping up indie games that, like, they were an actual thing. So yeah, they started off kind of, you know, pissing in your face about the whole Grand Theft Auto thing, and then moved to, well, and here's a whole bunch of indie games that you're gonna love, and I'm like, yeah, this is all should, you know, as you guys corrected me earlier, should all be at one sizzle reel. Each of these does not deserve their own fucking presentation with their own fucking shapes floating in front of them. I feel like you're wasting my time, and I feel like you think that I'm an idiot. And I got really excited for Deathloop, and then I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm excited about a Bethesda game. Like, that's not fucking abnormal for
That's
me.
not surprising for you, yeah.
Yeah, like, why am I chalking this up to, like, hey, Sony got to win because I like a Bethesda game? Wait a minute. That makes no sense. Marketing, you almost got me. So when you take, you know, that out, and the only thing I'm really excited about is Demon Souls. And so I find myself sitting here be like, at the launch of a new console, I can't tell the difference. I can't see a large flagship title. Last generation stuff is being shown to me like it's something new and not going to be ready until next year. I don't really see a whole lot of reason to go for this. And once more, like, I'll say it before, I'll say it again. Like, Tony just kind of seems like they don't give a shit. Like, you'll take what you get and you'll like it. And that's like old Sony. Feels like get a second job, Sony. Great, you showed me a lot of cool stuff about this generation that you're going to put on next generation. And even if you are putting on the exclusive stuff on next generation, your show was so convoluted and the messaging was so muddled that I walked away from half of it going, wait, what? And to boot all of that off, your showmanship was absolutely atrocious. As that clip just demonstrated, you have no idea how to get people excited. Like, in terms of, like, watchability for a show, it was awful. It was an awful presentation. Like, let's just be fucking honest here. There was no, like, they didn't lead you up, they didn't let you down. We just sat through it.
But
Successful.
I think we're kind of outliers.
You know, for all of this talk and all of this being behind, I was kind of, and all my bitching, I was kind of really hoping for Sony to come out, you know, swinging heavy. And I didn't even see them swinging medium. Like, they just kind of limp-wristed this shit out into the open and said, yeah, I'll be able to play some of your PS4 games on it, and there'll be a PS5 game. I'll tell you what, but, you know, it's going to be there. And I thought after all this time you're going to try and sell me a system on more than your good graces, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, man. And I pray to God I'm wrong. I pray that there's a secret sauce. I pray that there's a big hype thing. I hope this Miles Morales is a whole new game. They rebuilt the system or enhanced the system to really take advantage of the PS5 because it was there during the development of the PS5. It was there for tech demos of the PS5. It was sewn into practically the creation of the PS5. So yeah, maybe you should have a new engine ready or an updated engine and realize how to take advantage of this power. So yes, it should be a sequel. I have a feeling it's not, and I think a lot of it rides on that. Like, if they have a brand new Spider-Man game as their launching flagship title, if not, y'all got trounced by the Nintendo launch, and y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Damn. All right.
I rescind the rest of my time.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
Did they spend more time on GTA 5 than they did on the Miles Morales game? Because
they came back to it to talk about it. Remember that rep guy came out and started talking to like, this is amazing. We're glad to have Rockstar.
Yeah, that's true. They did spend more
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yeah.
I find it so fucking ridiculous that they didn't give more time to Miles Morales. This game comes out this year. Not this other fucking game, which came out for 2 generations ago, comes out next year, and they spend more time on that bullshit.
It's a dynamic game,
and it's fucking ridiculous because, Like they could have at least, this whole discussion that we had. We probably spent over a half an hour discussing whether it's a DLC standalone or actual full-fledged game, or whether it's a PS5 exclusive. They could have fucking told us there.
That's right.
They decided to fucking do a sizzle reel of fucking Miles Morales just swinging around like it looks like it was a previous game, just with a different character skin, and that's about it. It's man. The more I think about it, the more this shit pisses me off.
Damn. All right, Will, get in here, man. What are your thoughts overall?
Kind of not as cynical, but that's because I have a default level of cynical for this. Of the first year of a new console is going to be kind of trash anyway, so like, I'm not going to get excited for pretty much for anything. There are some games coming out that I'm, hyped for, and hey, new Ratchet and Clank, whatever Spider-Man's going to be, I'm excited about that. Ghostwire looks good, but like, yeah, the messaging was really kind of not done well, and Sony's been dragging its feet. But I'm just sort of this attitude of like, hey, remember when Knack came out, or Loco Cycle? And it's just like, hey, there's not going to be a whole lot of new stuff to come out for the first year of these consoles that are exclusive to those consoles. So just, we're getting used to it, and just there isn't going to be a whole lot of reason to get it straight off, unless you're a fanboy.
The one thing about it is that I don't like that this is the expected. You know what I mean? That we a lot of us who are old enough have lived through generations where there are like some pretty damn solid launching titles for our console.
There have been, but the hardware's just gotten so convoluted that either they just say, fuck it, this is going to be on both platforms, like next gen and this gen, or we're not going to be able to use this hardware to its full extent for another year or 3, and then we'll know how to really dev for it that'll show off its power.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
At most, you might have like Knack, where it's like, hey, see how many pyramids I have in my dumb character. But otherwise,
Hey, we got the Unreal Engine working on a PlayStation 4. Aren't you impressed? Not really.
Yeah, I'll go next because I'm not as cynical about it. But here's the thing. I talked to Carlos about this before we got here, and his stance is, Carlos, correct me if I'm wrong, that you said that if this was a normal year, you would think this would be a good show, right?
Yeah, a non-transitional generation year.
Okay. I think if this was a normal year, this actually would be a bad showing because half of the show, at least to me, was kind of trash. But since we've been so starved for gaming news this year, this show was better than I thought it was going to be, And I kind of disagree with Brett, who seems to be missing here. I thought the presentation in this was actually cool. It was better than seeing people at home with a little webcam like Xbox, did, talking about the third party games. They actually had everything produced and everything, and I like the fact that the presenters didn't speak too long. She's like, a couple minutes, get the fuck out of here. We're focusing on games. That was good, but like I said, half the show, the middle part of it, was too many indie games that bogged things down for me. But the stuff they did show, I'm happy about. I like the Spider-Man game. I like Ratchet and Clank. I like Horizon, Resident Evil. That new the stupid thing didn't list this game. It's a Capcom game, Chris. You know what I'm talking about. The one on the moon.
The one was like Pragmata or something like that.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of games that look cool. Yeah, so there's a bunch of games here I'm excited for. I don't think a lot of these are going to be launch games. The system itself, again, I'm fluctuating between I like it and I don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter as long as it plays games well, So I'm going to give this a B. I'm going to give the thing a B. What would that be? Like a 70 or something? 65? I don't know. But I wasn't asked like
80, 89.
80, 89? No. You could drop that shit down a little bit. Maybe a C, I guess.
No, you just give it a 60. It's passing, but
no. 60's failing though. 65 is.
No. Excuse me. 65. It's passing, but it's really not.
I'm not going to give it 65. 75.
That's what I'd give it. I give it a pass, but it's not by much.
Yeah.
65, 65.
As opposed to the Microsoft one being a 20.
That's an F.
Oh,
that was
shit.
an F.
That's a fucking F.
Yeah, that was an F. So yeah, again, I don't know if I'm going to get the PS5 day one unless that price is right. I don't think it's going to be for $399 even for the digital one. But if it's $450, I'll consider it. And let's just be honest, for work, I'm gonna have to get it sooner rather than later anyway. But no,
So in other words, you're already reneging on what you said.
how is that?
You're like, I'm not gonna get it day one. Oh well, I need it for
No,
work.
but I always had a stipulation. The first stipulation was a must-buy game. I didn't see that. The next one is now a price. But yeah, I wasn't too hard. I'm gonna harp on it too much. I wish it could have been better, but I guess I understand. It's like they didn't have a lot to show, so they just threw in all this filler and shit. But at the same time, just being objective here, I understand people will like those filler games. So you got to have something for everybody. I get that. And I got what I want. I got the only thing I didn't get. I'm just gonna say it's the only thing I didn't get was Final Fantasy 16. Man, I would have been so cool. But who even knows if that's even in development right now? Oh, by the way, I do want to add this. One of my insiders, who I shall not name, he sent me a list of games that were going to be shown. It was spot on, except for Final Fantasy 16. I was the only one that wasn't shown. Everything else was spot on. So shout out to you, and you know who I'm talking about. All right, Mr. Manny, overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts, it was better than the Microsoft thing, but again, it suffers from not having anything to really seriously write home about. It's not hasn't convinced me to do what I normally do. Away from what I normally do is not buy day one on date. And then the other worst part of it, there is no killer app that actually shows you why you need to own this thing. We only see like a marginal upgrade over games that we've already seen. And then there's Horizon Zero Dawn, which is all it's supposedly running on the console, but again, you're running on a console where you don't need to run any sort of AI or anything else on there. So I don't consider that even a factor. It's a pre-rendered. It might as well be pre-rendered. So I mean, and all of that, and then what is it launching with? The only thing I can say is it's the only thing I can say is it's going to have, for most assuredly, Playroom and the Spider-Man game, and then everything else is stuff is leftovers from the previous generation. Little demons or something like that. Little Devil. A bunch of those indie games are all on the PlayStation 4. So, yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. And I consider this, like I said before, it's a 65. It passes, but not by much.
All right, Chris.
All right, I think there was too much padding. The middle part was completely dragged with the indies. There was a few highlights. I thought Ratchet and Clank was a highlight. I was definitely excited for Demon's Souls. I did like the Spider-Man news. I did like the Soul Ash game looked interesting, and the end. But here's the thing. I I want to get the console because I want to upgrade away from PS4. That's really what I want. As long as I can play all my PS4 games on there, I'm good. So I'm sold on it. And the only thing, I think the system is ugly, to be honest with you, and I think that they needed a little more. A little more to show off the system's power. Like the middle just drag. I don't care about NBA 2K 21 and sweat physics or whatever. I don't give a shit. I didn't see enough stuff in there that was like, oh, look at this amazing like lighting or what. I didn't see any of that. So that was kind of a fail. But overall I was pleased enough.
Yeah. All right, and Adam.
With all the execs that we saw leave the past year and a half or so, everything's pointing that they knew something was wrong. And I think what's wrong is the same thing that's wrong with everything, with Microsoft and what's going on here. We don't need these consoles. There's no need for these consoles. The tech that they're willing to put in these machines still doesn't compare to what we could already experience on the PC side. So that's why we're not blown away with any of this. It's going to be very hard for them to even figure out a way to blow our minds. It's going to take exclusive IPs to really pull us in. And there was nothing here that showed it, and there was nothing that we saw with the Microsoft that showed it. So it feels to me, I feel like it's more, well, we have to release this hardware. We have shareholders. We have to show that we're innovating, we're progressing. It's already been a number of years, and that's how they do it. They release hardware just like they did with the mid-cycle iterations with the Pro and ES, and the X. This is just what they're doing, and we're not being blown away. There's no reason for us to get this, and I think a lot of those execs that left probably saw the writing on the wall. They're like, this is going to be a hard sell. Everything that we want to do and what's going to happen, it seems like it's going to progress. They're talking about no load time, but that's going to have an asterisk next to it, because there's always going to be load time, whether most of these games, in fact, actually work online servers that they connect to and have to run. So that's a load in a way. They're going to say it's not a load, but for the casual, they're going to see that number. Like when we play Division, they're going to see that as a load. So it's going to always be an issue. And there was nothing here. None of these consoles right now have anything that really stands out to the point like, wow, I need to get this day one. So will I get one eventually at some point? But there's nothing day one that we've seen that can pull me in. And I think that's the same way it's going to be with a lot of people. But Christmas time comes, and usually people just want something new on the tree. And yes, we are now officially in a recession. So I don't know if this will be the thing that they'll shell money out. They might just say, you know what, let's just get some games. Let's just go and get the Game Pass or a PS Now or something like that. Get more bang for your buck. And we'll ride this out for now, and then we'll think about it. Because this is also the first time we've seen new consoles launch during such a situation. Because the last time we had that long cycle, the PS3 360, it was because of the financial situation that we were in. And they were like, well, this isn't a good time to release a new console. And so that one got spread out more. So now here it is. This was bamboozled. It hit us. Nobody saw the shit coming. So there's nothing they can do. The train was already going down on the track. So it has to pull in. And we'll see what happens. But I'm not wowed by it. And I think a lot of people are not going to be wowed by it unless we see some big titles that help launch it, that at least have to be within that first week or so. Nobody wants to pick up a box and be like, yeah, let me wait a few weeks or a few months, I should say, and hopefully something good comes out. So,
yeah. All right, so that's that for us. Will, I want to thank you so much for hanging with us tonight, man. Good stuff having you.
Thanks
on
for having me.
Your insight. Please plug yourself. Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at AgroWill, and I do a lot of writing for PCMag.com. I cover, lots of gaming and TVs, entertainment stuff on there, and that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll be busy this fall covering some games too,
Yep, here's hoping.
That's awesome, man. All right, guys, so thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. Tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Later, people.
Adam Vale.
See you guys tomorrow for WrestleCast Backlash.
And Will Greenwald.
See ya.
All right, guys.